right, good afternoon. It is 4 p.m. It's Wednesday, September 18th, 2024. This is a special meeting of the Argyle ISD Board of Trustees. At this time, we will determine if a quorum is present.
Leona McDade, present.
Rich McDowell, present.
Leanne Artho, present.
Matt Slayton, present.
Craig Hawksworth, present.
I, Sam Slayton, present. We do have a quorum established. Noted Mr. Westrom not here. So at this time, we will have our Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. And Mr. Hawksworth, would you please lead us in our prayer?
Dear Lord, thank you for your time today. Thank you for being with us. Please guide this board and this administration to develop things for this district and honor the students and for that goal. In your name we pray, amen.
Amen. All right, this time we will move into a workshop setting,
Okay.
and we will move on out here.
We are working today through Board Visioning Workshop. We've got Dr. Luca Johnson here to help facilitate, and really we're looking for the board to establish vision, mission, and core values, work through that process because that's going to set us up for collaborative visioning. So while we have strategic plan for growth, what we don't have currently is one for our academics, student opportunities, finance, community relations, those types of things. So that's going to be a process we're going to be working on this year. But we need that foundation from the board in order to do that work. So, Dr. Johnson,
Okay, great.
kick it off to you.
Thank you. All right. So, yes, to echo what Dr. Carpenter said, what we're going to do today is a lot of discussion and not me just talking. So, y'all filling in some of the blanks and us talking about the district and all moving forward and having this 5-year plan. Sometimes I hate the word plan because I feel like that sounds like we're going to print it and put it in a binder and put it on a shelf, and that's not really what this is. This is something that evolves with all of the needs the district has. And so next year this time, we'll take a look at everything and see where we are not next year, but once the committee is finished with the work, the year after the plan has been implemented, we'll stop, take a minute to regroup, check everything, look at milestones, and see if we need to adjust. Because, I think something like this, you can't just say, well, today we know in 5 years what's going to be going on. I mean, I think y'all all are real in tune to that prescriptive way of thinking. And so, that's the great thing about this. What I need from y'all today is to think about this. Y'all are a team, and in this team, you have a lot of decisions that come out of this group and a lot of things that you're thinking about as far as student success, teacher effectiveness, safety in the district, all of those things. What we build out today will be introduced to the committee from the first time they get together, and it's really the foundation on which they are going to put their plan together. The great thing about collaborative visioning is it's a big picture. It's not this plan that has to have a checkbox every week or every 2 weeks. It's more of, hey, we're the committee and we want the district to look like this in 5 years. Now leadership, go figure out how to make that work. And they will give some parameters, but obviously there'll be things that the district leadership and the school board have to work together to make sure it happens. So that's what we're doing today, and this is gonna be fun. And in 10 minutes you'll look up and go, oh, we're finished. Okay, a minute ago my clicker did work. Here we go, it just takes a minute. There we go, all right. So we're gonna talk about today what is collaborative visioning. So that's my term for strategic planning. I like that a lot better. I think collaboration's good and a vision is good. I think it just sounds better. So that's what we work with in Transcend 4. We're gonna talk about the roles during that CV process, and you'll start hearing me say that CV. It's a nice acronym for this type of term. And then the agendas that the committee will use, what they're going to be doing in those 5 meetings. We're gonna talk about your priority focus areas, and then as Dr. Carpenter said, the mission, vision, core values, motto, and then at the end today, we are going to do a SWOT analysis as a school board, and we're gonna talk about the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats of Argyle ISD. And those items will be presented to the committee. And so as they look at that throughout their work, they'll say, you know, our board is concerned about X, Y, and Z. We need to make sure we attend to that in this plan. So it's just all of this is you working together as a team and helping build out this foundation for the committee, okay? All right, so the collaborative vision process equips the district to do a few things. We're gonna clarify our mission, vision, mission, core values, and motto. We're gonna speak with one voice. Travel in the same direction. That's hard sometimes in a district that's growing and has different groups in it and is different from what it was 10 years ago. And so we want everybody to think about if we all get on the same bus and travel in the same direction, we get there a lot faster. And we do what's right for kids. And then obviously the most important is to support students in all areas of their education. And I'm not just talking academics. As y'all know, extracurriculars are such a huge part of the student's experience. CTE, just being there socially and having those abilities to be around friends and to be around adults that they have mentor relationships with. There's so much more to school than just academics. And you know, in my opinion, as I work around the state, the districts that are most successful are the ones that really cultivate a student experience. And I like using that term because I think we forget sometimes they are the clients. You know, I know we don't hear from them as much as we do others, but they are our focus. And so if we focus on their experience and creating it, just making it so great for them, everything else will fall into place. So the end result of a CV is a statement of the district's guiding strategy on what it intends to accomplish and the key initiatives for achieving it. This is a little blurry because it's been copied a few times, but I use it because I love the stair-step approach. But these are all the things we're going to do with the committee. You're working on mission, motto, vision, values. We're going to present to them a current state of the district. They're going to put together a graduate or learner profile so that when someone from outside the district goes, I wonder what an Argyle graduate looks like. Well, this committee is going to create that, and that's going to be marketed in your community. They will also work on the priorities, the objectives, and the measurements, and the steps, and how we monitor things in this plan. And so, like I said, we're going to put all this together, but at some point we may adjust. And they will understand that they will be updated as time progresses if those adjustments are made. We'll bring them back into the fold and do some milestone updates. I told Dr. Carpenter, you know, it's smart to bring them back about once a year in late spring so you can update them on where the plan has gone and what has happened as it's moved forward.
And their work will come to the board in April, right?
That is correct. We will present the final CV to the board for adoption. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about roles. Well, the priority focus areas, let's talk about those. I'm going to show you those in a minute, but I want you to picture this room. And you know how we open the door and we have all these tables in here? every table is going to have a specific focus. Now, we're building one big plan, but it'd be very difficult in a room to have everybody build out the entire plan. So we are gonna have subcommittees, you might say, and those subcommittees will focus on one area, and that's what they're gonna be laser focused on, like building the best plan for that group. Now, throughout the process, though, everybody's gonna own it, because we do these things called timeouts, and I'll say, okay, timeout. Table 1, you're gonna go over to table 2 and present out your work. You're gonna get some critical friend feedback, and then vice versa. So no one at any point is gonna be able to walk out of this room and say, I didn't know what those other tables were doing. They will have all of that and be able to give feedback and give opinions. We do a lot of visual things on the walls, and it's just a lot of collaboration, hence the word collaborative visioning. So they will review all district data pertinent to their area. They're gonna collaborate across priority focus areas, because as you could imagine, let's say teaching and learning is one of your areas, and also technology is. So just off the top of my head. Well, those two things go together because students use technology. So they have to be talking in order to build out a really solid plan for the district. So there's gonna be a lot of cross-pollination in that room. They will draft the objectives, measures, and action steps with support from the table facilitator. So let's talk about that. Every table is going to have a district personnel who is a very adept in that area. Now, they're not charged in creating the plan for the table, they're just there to be a real good support. So if you notice, if on one of these, you're gonna see finance as one of them. Who could you imagine who's gonna sit at that table? Where is she?
She's over there.
I can't see her. So Liz would be at that table, and she's the expert in that area, and they need her guidance there. So then that group, the focus areas, they will eventually recommend the CV to you all, and each focus area will appoint 1 to 2 members of their table who will present their part of the plan, so that you can ask them specific questions about, and I want y'all to think about this as we go through this process. I want you to be thinking about what kind of questions will be good to ask those members as they come to present these items to you, because every one of their work is gonna be different. And then the superintendent and the leadership team are going to be responsible for deploying the vision, monitor and adjusting the CV, and then collaborate and plan with the CV facilitator, which is me. So over the next 5 years, I will still be involved, even though the project will end that I'm facilitating, I'll still be involved with the district, helping Dr. Carpenter and her team figure out if they need to adjust certain items, talking through with the committee, things of that nature. So I'm still available and helping in those areas. Now, there's a group on here that doesn't have a role right now, and that's you. And so, but your role is today in what we're doing today. And then obviously, we're gonna want you to refer to this plan when you make decisions at that dice, because you know, I had a really smart CFO tell me one time, she's one of the greatest CFOs in the state of Texas, and she said, Lizzie, I want our board to make investments and not expenditures. And when they get presented with, you know, large amounts of dollars that they have to spend because of program or whatever it might be, I want them to think of those things as investments in students. And so what we did in that district was we created a plan on a page, which was like a 1 page of all of these key items from the collaborative vision. And every board member had that at their seat, so that when they were doing the business of the board in those meetings, making those hard decisions, making the right decisions for students, they could go back and refer to that 1 pager. And it would always help guide through questions and you know, process. Yeah, so I know Dr. Carpenter's gonna be doing that too.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, any questions about roles or any of that? Okay, I'm gonna stop and just ask y'all that as we go through this. So, these are the priority focus areas. As you see, there's 6, so that means there'll be 6 table groups in this room. Each will have a table support person from the district. We have finance and facilities, which go beautifully together, and it makes a lot of sense to put those together. Community engagement, which is a very high priority. Academics and instruction, student opportunities, safety and security, and then recruitment, retention, and talent development of high quality staff. These are the 6 key items that the district will focus on in the next 5 years, not that you haven't been, but to really hone in and be laser focused on these items. And within those, other things will obviously come, out and be worked on, you might say, but these were the focus that we are going to really hone in on in this plan. Do you want to speak to any of those?
Yeah, so last spring, my team, we worked with our principals and kind of talked through where do they feel like are areas of, the focus areas. And I mean, they're pretty basic. That's the things that we would think about, and we want to, because we have different initiatives going on, but we don't have anything to tie them back to. And so this will give us the opportunity to really stay laser focused in a certain lane of, for instance, student opportunities. What do we want our students to experience in their time in school, whether it's elementary, 6th grade center, middle school, or high school, CTE pathways, being able to hone in on those, academics and instruction, community engagement. How do we want to engage our community? We've done several initiatives last year, but nothing to really tie to or have metrics to those. So the idea would be that this would be our priorities for the district, which in turn align with the priorities that you've already set with me in my evaluation, in turn would align with my evaluation process with the principals. So it makes an alignment there of where we're all rowing in the same direction. So.
Questions, comments about any of these areas?
I think the areas are good, but they're not in any priority order. I think that's important for us
Correct.
Right,
to
they're just here.
distinguish, because
Yeah.
there are those that will take that and run with it.
Yes, no, those are in no order. Those are just,
Bulleted.
yes.
They're just bulleted.
These are all
Yes.
equal in
Yes.
priority.
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
bulleted, not
Absolutely.
numbered, correct, absolutely.
Yep.
Let's emphasize that again.
Yes,
Bulleted.
bulleted and
Like,
not
I mean, even
numbered.
put it on here.
Yes.
Okay.
You can put them in
I will be
alphabetical
sure
order.
that I'll be sure
Yes,
that
we
the-
can put them in alpha order, there you
Yeah,
go.
and I'll be sure that we explain that to the.
Yes, alpha order, we'll do that.
One thing I wanna comment on that Dr. Carpenter said is she kinda drilled it down to principals, campus, so on and so forth. That's the great thing about creating a collaborative vision, cause now your campuses can take this and use this for their CIP foundation as well, and for the DIP, for the district improvement plan, that we know is required by the state. And so this is the undercurrent of all of those things, and it gets everybody on the same page, all the principals. Now, from one campus to the next, of course, it's gonna look different because of the programs and the ages and that, but it's a great place to start. So they were excited that day that we met with them. They were like, oh, this is fantastic, cause, that's a difficult document to create sometimes, and this will give them a jumping point.
Dr. Johnson, I don't wanna get into the weeds, but I don't wanna, not highlight what you previously said, that you were quoting, one of the greatest CFOs in the state of Texas. But investments in students, and they're not looked at as expenditures. I think if, our focus and our why as a board, which obviously we're gonna highlight throughout this process, but our why is the student opportunity, is the students' readiness to leave school and go out into the world and be well-rounded citizens that not only represent themselves well, but represent our district well. And if we're constantly looking through the lens of our why at the financial side, that's not always gonna be what's best for our students.
Sure.
And so, obviously we all have the facts and feelings around our legislators currently, but, not everything, and Liz may cringe about this, but not everything is the best financial decision.
Right.
And we don't wanna forsake our students' experience, to be penny wise and pound foolish. So, I just wanna, make that clear that, if we're looking at everything through the lens of finances, this board has adopted deficit budgets to support our teachers and to put safety and security in schools and to enhance the educational opportunities for our kids. And so going into a deficit budget for the right reasons, we're good with that. And so not every decision made makes sense on a ledger sheet, but it makes sense for our why. And so that's important to us as we go through this process.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that, absolutely. Okay. because sometimes we have to veer left or right to meet the needs of the committee members. But this is what we found is a good template that we use in this type of process. You know, meeting one is a lot of the overview, the timeline, reviewing the areas. We talk about the district, the state of the district. We'll do some get to know yous, and then we'll start focus area presentations. So each of those tables has a lead, as I said. They will actually present a presentation to the entire committee about their focus area, because we want everybody to have this information. Even though the table will probably have way more data and actual information that's paper, you might say, for their decision making, but we still want the whole room to understand that area. Those presentations are gonna look like this. They're gonna talk about where they've been, where they currently are in that area, and where they wanna go. Gives the tables, it gives the groups some knowledge and some jumping off points, so they know where that area wants to head and why they want to head that direction. It will help formulate their part of the plan. In meeting two, we're going to come in and work on our graduate or learner profile. We'll go ahead and review those design areas again, just keep talking about them, have some more presentations, and then we start talking about gap analysis. And so when I explain gap analysis to people, I always say, here's where we are, here's where we want to be. Doesn't mean we're doing anything wrong, but we've just got to move the needle a little bit, and we want to have continuous improvement in all things. And so explaining that to a room full of adults who do work in private sector and work outside of the district, it's very interesting the types of examples they bring in, because you'll have some people in this room who, you know, that's their job in their company. They are always working to move the needle, whether it's, you know, money or whatever that is. You know, here in this room, we're going to be thinking about students and moving their needle. And so we'll start introducing the template to the committee that night, and then we'll come back at meeting three and we'll finish those focus area presentations, and we'll start creating the plan. And within those first couple of meetings, we really get that graduate profile together, and we'll even have a graphic for it and some really nice images, and I have somebody that creates those, and that's something you're going to use throughout the district. And, you know, I've seen other districts put them in the campuses, on all their literature, their marketing collateral, things of that nature, just to really put out there what an Argyle graduate looks like, because it's important for your community to understand what you're producing out of these school buildings. You know, one of my favorite stories as a former school administrator is I used to ask, at one point in my career, I had about 25 principals who I was responsible for in my district. And I would ask them at the beginning of the year, the first year I started, I said, what's y'all's favorite day? And you know, so you got great answers, right? Summer days, the day school's out, or the day we go to holiday break, or, you know, the day we get, you know, have National Merit Scholars represented, all those great things. And I said, I'm gonna tell you what Lizzie's favorite day is. It's graduation. I love graduation. I know y'all are involved in graduation. It is so special. Some of those students, that's the only time they will walk across the stage. And some of them, that's the first time anyone in their family has walked across the stage, okay? But what I would always envision at graduation is not just because we would face the audience, obviously y'all know that, y'all been there. But I would envision like schools, recruiters, and Fortune 500 CEOs, and you know, armed forces, and you know, vocational schools and vocational work, just all through the audience, not the friends and family. And I told my principals, I said, my favorite image is that as soon as that kid walks off the stage, one of those people in the audience comes and grabs them and says, we want you, you're coming with us. And what a great thing as a school district to imagine that every kid has a place. And that's exactly what Mr. Slayton just said. He said, you know, we want to make sure we're building a well-rounded individual. And that's what we want that graduate profile to really exude and to speak to. And so the committee will be creating that. And meeting 4 is just work. We're going to put them to work. They probably have already started at meeting 3, and these committees get very invested in this. And they will start creating Google Drives and they'll be working at home on this stuff. It's so great, and they come in with posters, and you're like, where did you get that? And they're like, well, we've been working, we met the other day, we wanted to get ahead, and they get very excited about this work. So they will really work meeting 4, and we'll start gallery walking, doing the timeouts and all of those things, and sharing with each other. And then meeting 5, we will wrap it up. We're gonna do a whole wall full of visuals of their work. They're going to walk around with dots and checks, and they're gonna put opinions and thoughts, and then the groups will get back together and really finalize everything. We'll have a big group discussion and a celebration that evening. Now, as in all things, when a document is created and there's multiple people doing it, it's a little wonky in the verbiage, right? So we want to make sure that this document is presented in a very professional manner to your community. So what we will do is I have an excellent person who goes in and she will work on the verbiage of the document. Nothing changes that the committee put together, but she improves the way it's read and what it looks like. And this has been a part of her life's work. She's a department professor at a local university, and she's taught this system to her graduate students, and so she's very good at it. So she will help clean it up and make it a really great working document, and then it will be presented to you all for approval.
And so they'll get to see that consideration 1 month, and then they can come back and approve it the following.
The next, absolutely. And then,
Could
yes,
may
sir.
I interject with just a couple of questions?
No,
here?
absolutely.
Having served with you on the bond committee and things of that nature, do we have kind of a guideline? Are we gonna set the guidelines today of who's gonna be a part of these committees?
So when we sent out the application process to the district, those were some of the options for people to apply. So our group, it closed on Friday, so our group will start going through those names and kind of getting a framework for who's interested in different ones. And so yes, you guys can absolutely tell us kind of a profile of what you're looking for, and then we can match that to the names,
Okay.
the names that have applied for the different areas, because they had the opportunity to apply for each of the priority areas.
And again, going off of people, is there gonna be like a commitment that you have to attend all meetings and, you said
Yes.
take work home? I mean, this seems pretty extensive.
Mhm.
And I think one of the things through the years that Argyle's been, the board's been critical, or the community's been critical of the board, is the committees will bring things to us, and then we might not approve it. Will this be something that's brought to us with the expectation that it's approved, or will there be changes to it, or is that, and I don't know if that's a fair question, I'm just trying to make sure.
My recommendation is, if this committee has worked this hard and dug in this deep, that it is
Accepted.
accepted.
Got it.
And I'm available to y'all to update anything that's happening in the group, and of course, if you want to do a rotation as board members to come to meetings and see the work that's kind of like what we did with the bond meetings, see the work that's happening, for sure.
And typically, how many people do you have on a committee?
I think we'll do about six to seven. We talked about 6 to 7 per priority area.
Okay, and I was a little surprised the other night to hear that 90 community members signed up,
Yeah.
considering how many adults we have in
Yes,
our
yes,
community.
yes.
So will we need to pull from outside of that, do you think, or was that?
I think,
No, that's a
I
good
think
number.
we have quite a few, we have enough, well, like I said, we haven't digested it yet.
Right.
We just cut it off on Friday, so our day to review it as a cabinet team is next week. But we have plenty in each, because we had several committees on, we
So
had
we have them
DLT,
in each
CLT.
one?
Oh, yes, we do,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
Safety and security, we had them all, so
Okay.
we haven't even, I haven't counted specifically in each one, but we'll go through there, and if we still need some volunteers, then we'll reach out to some others.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just don't want it to be like all the same type of people.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah, no, we'll look at that and review it, and see if we feel like we need to reach out to different, but we had from what I would consider, we had a good, applicant pool. That was a good turnout, because people are busy, and they can't commit to a lot of that stuff, so.
and it went to everyone in the community, so even if you don't have children in the district.
Yes.
And you don't have a profile on anyone yet, like you wouldn't know, we have a pretty broad range of younger parents to?
Yes, I mean, well, correct. I mean, we just closed it on Friday,
Right.
so I haven't, we digested to make sure we had enough in each one, but as far as going, and then we've looked at like elementary zones. Now, they might not have elementary students right now, but we can tell by their
Right.
address where they live, and so we're looking to make sure we have a balance across our zones.
That's, I would say, is one of the
That's
most
important.
Yes,
That is.
right.
We had a pretty good balance across our
Okay, good,
zones,
that's good.
And
because we
Dr.
color coded them as they were coming in.
Dr. Johnson, the last time we did this as a district was probably 2016, 2017.
Right, so it's been a while.
It's been a while, and we had a very strong contingent of community involvement and student involvement. We broke up into sections, you know, as you know. Is that information that you've seen, like what we did last time? And if you haven't seen it, would that be helpful to see a framework, or is kind of a moot point now because we're not the same as we were in 2017?
Yes.
I would agree to that.
I've seen it, and I'm right there with what you just said.
Okay.
I think you're in a totally different place than we were then. And,
Yeah, we were on 377 last time.
yeah, so.
Literally
you
and
know,
figuratively.
Yeah, so it's time for fresh vision, you know.
I think personally it might be good to reflect on it too, because, you know, sometimes as you get bigger, it seems like you lose some of that original value system that might have been there, maybe not. I don't know, I wasn't there, I wasn't a part of that, but that would be interesting to look at and do a comparison at some point, you know, between then and now.
Yeah, well, one of the groups is community engagement, and they will be looking at those things.
Okay.
It's not just about keeping people engaged, but it's also about like traditions and
Good.
things that have been here, or that, you know, they keep the community, the community.
Kind of grounded in what we've been,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
we've been.
Yeah.
And you've got the previous vision, mission statement, all of that as
Right.
part of today
Mhm.
to look at, so.
Yes, I've got that, we're gonna review those things. I'm gonna quiz y'all, no.
I will follow.
Sometimes I go, do y'all know? And they're like, oh, okay, let's go on this thing. All right. Any other questions about, the agendas? Okay, so in my process, you know, I use the gradients of agreement to make sure that everyone understands they don't have to 100% say yes, that they can keep things moving, and they can have points of contention, and they can have honest and open conversations. So just like with any committee I work with, they will stay at the same table with the same people, and they will work on that priority focus area. But they will be talking to the other people in the room and getting feedback from them and working on items with them. So it's very similar to other processes a process that you've seen that I work with. And this is a little different though, because we aren't really focusing on, there's not so much, I'll just say it, talk of money, right? So, when you were to talk about a bond or things like that, it's always money, everything's money. This is different. This is very student focused, and it's drilled down to that in everything we do in that room. And so the data we look at, the information we cover, it is so student focused. And then teachers would be the next part of that. You know, we'll be looking at teacher retention and how do we do that? And how do we recruit high quality teachers and all of those things. And so it's a bit different when it comes to honestly the air in the room, you might say. It's not so heavy, you know, it's a very positive, everybody's really happy and they're excited, and it's just a whole different type of feeling in that room. And we will have students at the tables as well. Dr. Carpenter's said we're gonna be having high school kids there that are gonna participate, and they're gonna be great advocates for their schools and for their experience, and so we love that they're gonna be a part of this group as well.
So they'll be part of the 6 or 7 at
Yes,
the table?
yes ma'am.
Well, no, those, I'm talking community on those, we'll have an extra one, will be a student.
Yeah, but yeah, they'll
Gotcha.
sit at the table,
Okay.
yes.
We don't have a standard number right now, but that's typically what you see in each one of
And
those
did
groups.
those students fill out the same form, or are you pulling students based, like from?
Those
different
students
groups?
were for Superintendent Advisory Council. It was a
Okay.
different purpose.
But it was, okay, so.
Different purpose.
You will pull kids.
Yes,
with
we'll
this?
talk to the high school principals and
Okay.
we'll be working through that, but that was for a different purpose.
Okay.
Although some of those students may be the very
Right,
same ones.
right.
It's not on like, I guess, the high school committee in a sense, cause I know you weren't part of that one, but I know we had students at the table.
We did for the bond.
We did for the bond.
We did
And
for the
for
bond.
okay,
Yeah.
so it's the same idea.
Yeah, okay. And, you know, we're starting this a little later in the semester, so maybe we'll have less conflicts with their
Yes.
schedules. They were pretty stretched
Yeah.
last fall, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna dig into our first item that we're gonna look at, and that's our core values. So let's talk a little bit about core values. These are core tenets, they're shared by stakeholders, and they drive the organization's culture and commitment. They define what an organization values most, and their values should influence all future decisions. So, you don't want more than 5 to 8 value statements, and I think shorter is better, because you actually want people to be able to remember these. You know, you want them to be able to remember and capture that. More than one word, but short enough to remember, and you want this to be universal, shared by everyone in the district. It's not prescriptive to an elementary or a secondary or anything of that nature. It's shared by all. So, currently, and I'm gonna ask Dr. Carpenter to give us some history on the ones that I have up here. These are your current core values that were shared with me.
So on the previous strategic plan, there were 10 we believe statements. There weren't any really taglines to them, and they were pretty wordy. So last year, one of the things that I did and our team did with our principals was to try to, because that was very important to me coming in, was for us to have a kind of a set of core values so we could do our Soaring Star Awards. So we read through what the district had and tried to condense it into more taglines with we believe statements that weren't quite so wordy. And so this is what we used last year for our Soaring Star Awards, some of our Teacher of the Year things. So this is kind of where we are starting with you guys. And obviously this is part of why you're here today, is to adjust anything, make any that you want to do as a team. But they don't match exactly what was on the previous strategic plan, because we were trying to make them a little more understandable and usable for today's age.
And not so many.
And not so many.
Because there
right.
were a lot, yeah.
But there weren't, and they were statements, and they were pretty lengthy. Some of them were pretty lengthy. So we condensed them into this last year while working with our principals and our administrative team.
So I'm gonna give you a second just to read through these.
There was also some words used in the previous ones, I think, that over time since 2017 that have become a little more electrified. So this was an opportunity for us to make sure we were, because a lot of this has changed since then, so.
So, I'm gonna not talk about the sentence at the bottom. I'm gonna move to the next slide and just give you an example. These are some examples of core values from other districts that we've worked with, and then just some that were out there that we appreciated. And so you can see there's some congruence with the one. I'm gonna go back to yours up here on the screen, and let you look at your slides for the examples, but there is some congruence to the ones that you have there on your document. And so I just wanna open the floor and kinda get some feedback from y'all as to what you think
From a marketing aspect or whatever, I mean, I like the Lions one, for instance. I mean, first thought is, could we do something with Eagles? Obviously, I know that might down the road.
Yeah, that's
Be
the only problem with
somewhat-
that. You could
might
do
be a-
Argyle, or you could do
Argyle or something like that, right? And so I guess, having moved here in 17, I don't know if we did something like that.
No, that wasn't.
It's just all together, that's all.
Okay. I'm gonna take some notes over here.
I think it could be an acronym. It doesn't have to be something that's specifically to the district. A great example, just put on record here, is like Texas A&M, they have RELIS. And so like theirs is respect, excellence, leadership, loyalty, integrity, selfless service. So something like that.
Okay.
We're living and breathing it over here.
So,
Yes.
Way to lose the-
Soar.
Because I think, and I agree, because if you try to pick your acronym first, then you're forcing
right.
your
The
core
words.
values to match.
Yeah.
And so you need to, you know,
It's gotta kinda be
Yeah,
natural.
right,
Yeah,
more of an organic approach and.
yeah.
I do
It's something-
like the humility and hope and adding that kind of more character
Mhm.
aspect and what, and the faith and community,
Mhm.
but then also including,
I just went through and kind of underlined the words that I thought were important to me that made me think of Argyle to this point, you know. Pride, trust, faith, community, accountability, respect, kindness. Did I already say respect? Can I
Yeah.
say it
Yes.
again? Can I say it twice?
You could
yes,
say
you
it.
can.
Double R's fine.
Honesty, you know, I just went through and a lot of those words are in all of these.
Mhm.
Okay.
Right, so, for me, I like the top left, I don't wanna know who SISD is, but I like it's
Oh.
clean, it's to the point, it's, you know, listen, I remember being a part of this and the strategic plan that we did at the time, and the whole thing was a lot of words.
Yeah, it's a lot of words. Yeah.
But
And
you
that-
had 50 people in the room with an opinion, which is fine, but there was never a point of bringing them all together
Yeah.
to say, let's incorporate that into this. No, I wanna keep my own and I'll write out my sentence. Everybody gets 2 words, everybody
Yeah.
gets.
And I think you start seeing that, the respect right there,
Yes.
honest, kind, you
Yeah,
start
kind.
seeing those on our.
So the
Yeah.
words are in here, I
Yes,
think,
we just need to
tradition,
Yes.
Yeah,
those words
Simplify
are in
it.
here, I just think
Simple one.
respect may mean something different. I don't need to spell out what it means to me.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
just
Way
the
to close
word,
this off.
just having the word present.
I didn't spell RES.
Yes.
That was genuine, I didn't do that on purpose.
We were just trying to find out what it means.
Well, I like to add
I had to pick that one.
relationships, because I think relationships has a deeper meaning, even on a more specific level than community. Like, I think they're both important, but I think it's the relationships in the building and the overall community
Right.
that really impacts our
Well,
students.
I think you're right? I mean, we've used relationships to talk about our long-term facility strategy,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
it's one of the big words that guides us a lot in making those decisions, and so
I think it's what
that's
has
a big
always
one.
been
Yeah.
a driving force in Argyle. I think people build those relationships with the teachers, with the coaches, with the admin. I think that's been one of the strong parts of our community, was that it was made up of individual relationships.
One of the things that, I'd say I'm biased in saying this, but somehow to incorporate the importance of mental health or wellness. Something in that regard, and that can speak to holistically of, you know, what we want our students
Like
to
a
have.
whole, the whole child
Yeah.
approach.
Right.
and wellness is a good way to put it, because that's
Yeah.
essentially what we're seeking for all of us,
Yeah.
and that's not a charged word.
Well, here, I'm gonna,
Well,
I'm gonna
you know,
write
and
some
again,
words down
like
on the.
Craig, I like the
Okay.
SISD values of trust and faith and ownership.
I just like the way it's presented
Right,
too,
right.
it's clean,
Very,
committed, whatever it means to you.
yeah.
That's what you think.
Well, 'cause faith.
We're not gonna tell you what it means. Or how to process it.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
He was waiting for me to step in the trap.
I
I could have picked
I
any other
did not
word.
see it coming, but as soon as you said like respect and find out what it means, I was like, oh gosh.
He's about to sing it.
I
wish I could tell you I did it on purpose.
Yeah.
but I
Okay,
didn't.
I'm just gonna start putting the words up here.
Okay.
Let's just start looking at them so they're in front of us, do something visual. So we said relationships, correct?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, and wellness was one.
Uh-huh.
What else?
Pride, trust, and faith. I wrote down the ones that Craig had said.
Pride, trust, faith,
And we're just
Respect.
throwing it out here
Craig
right
mentioned
now.
respect.
Yes.
respect, okay?
Respect.
not gonna say it.
I think tradition.
Kindness.
Can we spell it for you?
She
Yeah,
said,
sorry.
she
Yeah,
said, she said tradition.
Tradition. And kindness and honesty.
I think excellence is important, cause that is,
I think we
to
had
me, that
that.
would be, I just feel like that's something that this district is,
Kindness.
Community.
Jim, is that what
Community
you
has
said?
to-
Community.
Kindness.
Community. I
We
mean,
are-
It is the community.
We are a very in tune community as far as different opinions, different thoughts, different.
We're engaged a lot too. Engaged.
Okay, what else? What are we missing?
I mean, is collaboration to some degree, like, and that goes with engagement, but involved or, I don't know,
Do you think
invested?
that would fall under this,
Yeah.
or?
I mean, it could, we're just throwing words out,
Yeah,
trying to do it.
I think the community, the school district, the board operates with a level of integrity and always has since I've been here.
Right. I mean, Dr. Carpenter, I know at the beginning of the year, I've always kept these in my head, your 3 E's that you
Mhm.
put out there, you know, the eagle, whatever we did, the first,
it was excellence.
Convocation.
excellence,
Yeah.
energy, and
Expectations.
expectations, which I've really liked. Kind of succinct, but it covers a lot.
Yes.
we already had excellence up there.
I mean, and energy is that rah-rah, you know,
Yeah.
family.
Sure.
We're gonna get at it, we're gonna do it, we have a goal, fun, engaged, means a lot of things.
These are good, yeah. So, they're a lot though, there's a lot
We
in
went
there.
over 5 to 8, I know.
Yeah, so,
Pair 'em up
and,
and-
you know,
That's
so,
what, yeah, paramount.
yeah, we could pair
And
them.
you could do some things like
Assume
respectful
kind of-
relationships, collaborative community, I mean,
Yeah, we
you
could kind of try to pair the letters.
maybe, I don't know.
So, here's
Well, and
one
trust, respect, and integrity
Mhm.
are all kind of,
that go together,
They
yeah.
are linked.
Trust, respect, and community.
And
Integrity.
integrity, trust and integrity.
Trust, integrity, and respect.
Okay,
Is that what it means?
They're all
so not community,
Yeah.
Right.
sorry. Okay. What would wellness go with? Energy,
And kindness.
And kindness.
kindness, so wellness. Oh, I'm not very good at this.
Let's try to follow that.
I'm gonna rewrite it here.
Would you like a different
over
goal for
here.
relationships then to?
Okay.
You got all
Just
these
gonna try to
colors
get it
over
ready
here.
before, you know. What about tradition, excellence, and?
Tradition of excellence.
Expectations.
Yeah.
So, and expectations?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Pride would
Pride,
probably go with
yeah,
tradition.
Okay, so now we're just missing engagement,
You can put pride with that,
Okay.
tradition and excellence too.
okay?
Oh, there you
Engagement would go with community.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Engagement with what?
Community.
Okay,
And I think faith could go with wellness, you know?
okay, let's do it over here. All right, y'all help me.
go. I can't make that out.
Did we leave? Okay, no, we did.
pointer finger.
respect,
Just follow
we did
that.
trust, respect, and integrity.
Yes.
Is that a good order, y'all think?
It's a good grouping. I don't-
It's a good
Let's just
grouping.
put 'em up there.
Let's group them first.
Let it. And then,
Cross them out while you.
yeah, trust.
Faith, faith, wellness, and energy.
And kindness.
Tradition.
And kindness. Yeah, you're right, sorry, Miss Donna.
No, it's all right.
I'm trying to follow the lines here. And then pride, tradition, and
Excellence.
excellence
And expectation.
and expectations.
Okay.
Matt, can you cross out what you've
Yeah,
done
let's
so
cross
far?
out. So cross out trust, respect, and integrity. Faith, wellness, energy, and kindness.
Faith, wellness,
Energy,
energy,
kindness.
kindness,
Pride, tradition,
pride, tradition.
excellence, and expectations. So we're down to
So-
community, relationships, and engagement.
Mhm.
Sounds great.
That sounds
That
good.
sounds
Aw.
Mhm.
Okay.
Can you twist that just a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard for them to see it on this side. Thank you. There we go.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Anything you think needs to be moved around or changed? Do we wanna capital or alphabetize? I don't know.
Are you thinking of just putting these down as kind of a grouped list?
Yeah, I would just say,
Or are you thinking of adding like little teeny word phrases in there, like, you know?
no, I think that's gonna get too much, and I think it
Okay.
goes back to what Craig said. Everybody's got their, a
Mhm.
solid
Definition.
definition of these, and I think that's how you
Okay.
do
Someone
this.
sell me on expectations.
Oh,
Yeah,
there you
the
go.
therapist in me doesn't like that
I
because
know.
Well-
unmet expectations lead to resentment.
That mainly came from when I was
Goals.
talking about convocation, how we have high expectations, high excellence.
Right.
That's where that came from. She was just asking what I was talking about there, so.
Well, maybe what we can do on
Get
this
rid of
is
it.
now start cutting words.
Yeah,
Of the group,
Yeah.
right? So if expectations one, so then that still leaves pride, tradition, excellence,
Which all kind of go together.
yeah.
Yeah,
right?
cause it's gotta be narrowed down anyway.
And even,
To
and
me-
I understand the excellence, but I almost, if you're doing all of the other things on that board, you should be getting, the sum is excellence, in my mind.
Agreed, because
Now,
I look
excellence
at,
is, I'm not gonna fight over that one, and I understand it, but that's kind of my feeling on that one.
It shows where you are.
to me, if you have community engagement, you have relationships with the community.
So don't take it off, that's just my initial thought, man.
But I'm saying we could have community engagement and cut off relationships. You know, like if you're trying to cut it down to,
The only thing is, I think about student relationships and all the stuff that we've discussed, and when you talk about relationships among students or students to teachers, it's not necessarily just
so
the
take off
relationship
community and
with
just have
community.
relationship engagement?
Yeah, but you need the community. I don't know, maybe you can just go
I
somewhere
mean, you could
else.
put respectful relationships together too, and that encompasses everybody.
Everybody, yeah.
But I don't think you have relationships without respect, really. Right?
Is that an Aggie?
It is, they teach us well, we have songs
And
and
I don't
dances.
I think having 3 is bad
I
for
don't
each
know.
bullet,
Right.
but I would make sure we have an equal number for each bullet.
Yes. So we-
Okay.
I would get rid of energy too, just cause that was part of that
Yeah.
conversation earlier.
John Gordon has a good
Faithfulness,
book called Energy
kindness,
Books.
He does, that's a true story.
integrity, pride,
So
tradition,
we're 3 on
excellence,
everyone.
So now you're 3 on all.
relationships and engagement.
I personally like excellence up there. It's something that's part of our tradition. It's
Mhm.
not something that we're going to go away from in the future. So, and embracing our tradition, embracing our core value, and continuing it on into the future. I personally like it.
I think like the first two for me are what we expect of everybody. I mean, students, teachers, I mean, all employees, parents, community members. The third one to me is the past. It's what it's kind of our foundation of who we are. And the last one is obviously just straight about, you know, community and relationships with other people.
And I see those first two bulleted items as being your internal core values,
Yes,
and the second two
exactly.
being your external core values.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
That's
that
what
funny
we
how those interrelate
outwardly
like that?
see.
Yeah.
I mean, cause the first two is who you are as a person.
Right.
The second two are how you operate outside and with others. That's kinda how I just see that.
Basically,
Same thing.
sort of geared toward, yeah. Same idea.
Y'all good with these?
Yeah.
We're gonna leave them up there.
So
I'm gonna move this.
then with this one, go like Argyle ISD, and
Values.
these, is that what we're on?
Believes in, or, values, core values.
Yeah, if we can, do values or believes in, yeah, I'm just gonna attach this down here so we have record.
All
of
of
it.
these have we believe in one,
Okay. Man, y'all are sailing.
You said we blink.
No, don't you? Okay, alright, so we got that one done. Okay, so then we get to the mission versus the vision. So when you think of mission versus vision, mission is current, it's the present, tells your statement of purpose. Your vision focuses on the future. It's a source of inspiration and motivation to tell us where you want to be as an organization. So this is your current mission. I want you to read it.
Oh, it's a novel.
yeah.
I mean,
Just take a look at
I
it,
enjoy
read the
it.
words through it.
Do you know in the old boardroom, we had our wooden,
Would not give
um, little, what do you call it, little podium?
Podium.
And on the front of the podium facing us was our mission statement.
Oh, nice.
And how many times I've read it, but can I tell you?
Yeah.
Verbatim?
No, yeah, it's a lot, there's a lot of
There's a
words.
lot in there.
I didn't read it.
That's why. Just see over here.
Right,
So
right,
then it
right.
becomes
Just a
meaningful.
sentence.
Right.
Yeah,
Like all
Yeah.
of us wanna be.
Like, no,
all
not the
these
bad.
that's right,
things.
that's
That's
right.
not really what we're doing.
Yeah.
We're just giving some.
Yeah. It's just it's paragraph, yeah. So what a mission statement does is it distinguishes the district from others. It shares your statement of purpose and declares your reason for being, and it states your critical needs. So as you all have noticed, we have a very lengthy one here that, you know, could be very hard to remember, and it's just a lot in there. So these are some examples of other mission statements.
Can we do something? Can we say our current mission statement is seek core values?
Refer to
Just go
core
there.
values.
I do think
That's
it's
what they said.
important to somehow tie, and it doesn't have to be in words, but just an understanding of your core values
Yeah,
are how you implement your mission.
mission statement, sure,
Right, yeah,
absolutely,
exactly, yeah.
yep. So these are some examples, notice much smaller, much shorter, to the point, you know, different words, some the same, you know, and it varies based on the examples of the districts that we pulled these from, and then some of these were created by team members of mine. So, what I want you to do is, I want you to get with your elbow partner, so 2, 2, 2, and I want you to write out a mission statement for Argyle ISD. Notice I've given you a template here. So the mission of Argyle ISD, you include the unique identity of the district, is to, whatever the purpose is, by or through whatever the means are. And there's an example. And I put this up there, some things to consider. You know, does it distinguish you? Does it provide a statement of purpose or reason? And identify the means for accomplishment, and is it simple and easy to remember? I'm gonna give you about 5 or 6 minutes to brainstorm with your friends, and, next to you and come up with one, and then we're gonna just start paring it down and combining them, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Team building. Oh, they're moving, they don't want y'all to hear what they're doing.
It'll be something to do with ag. Listen, I want whatever he comes up with, I want you to pull up the A&M mission statement.
I'm not doing Aggie stuff.
I love it.
And then I say, how does my solution support your mission or support your values? So something along what I wrote was something along the lines of developing a safe, caring, learning environment. Something that allows students to reach their full potential, be a make an impact, or could be leave an impact on AISD, preparing to make your child. Right. Something like that's pretty corny sounding, but something like that, right? So I think for me, it's got to be something around safe and caring, learning environment. Maybe something about inspiring students to do something.
This is the tradition of multifaceted opportunity, so our God
Is built on tradition. Our tradition, multifaceted opportunities.
or opportunities, empowering students.
Oh, yeah, so opportunities. Empowering ING students.
The same.
Vision for social responsible citizens.
Right.
So what does that all mean? Ambitious, professional, social.
Empowering students to meet the future challenge.
Or
I don't want all that.
we could put educational opportunities, relationships, but it's not that.
Empowering students.
Maybe it's not empowering. This one it could be inspiring. Inspiring students.
Inspiring students.
And all this is to reach their full potential, to reach
Challenges, future challenges.
So take this, students, to get rid of
Empowering students.
no, inspiring students to reach their full potential as citizens and leaders.
Students.
As citizens and leaders to meet future challenges.
Okay. Foster, remember you said what to say from that.
I just said development, so you could say foster.
No, I think we just start, we start with something. We need to identify who are the districts.
Caring, safe, caring. Safe, just say safe and caring environment.
Future challenges.
Fostering safe. Something about fostering safe and caring environment.
I haven't met your wife yet. I know she works here. Well, she loves,
We already used inspiring, something about
Oh, I know.
achieving the full potential.
Yeah.
Nurturing, caring, learning environment.
Okay,
Students
so
achieve.
okay, so the mission change. What did we, I thought we had, oh, we said academic. So.
Read it, yeah. Read it to me. Shut up.
Something that's unique identity. So here they just say they're a community learner, so that doesn't help me.
Built
Oh,
on.
no, I like that. Yes. Perfect. I like it. Building students.
Oh, 15 members with 5 of them, so that's pretty
Okay,
good.
as
You do
citizens.
one meeting.
No, we do
Okay.
two the first thing.
It builds
And
student
leaders.
character
We try to
and
do
brain
things
Meet future challenges.
building relationships, opportunities, and academic distinction.
And then they'll work.
Okay. Is to build student character, so it's like the goal. What is it that we want them to be? We want
How did I
them to
read
be
this out
built
loud?
character. But you need
I
to
somehow
have that
incorporate this is saying the same thing that this is, right? 'Cause inspiring students to reach their full potential. Okay, got it. But the safe and secure learning environment we need to
You're gonna have
built on a
to
tradition of multi-faith precedent opportunity. And a safe and secure and secure learning environment.
or to
Safe and secure, safe and care. Oh.
That's a great
Because then you embrace the teaching. Learning environment. Which inspires students to reach their full potential as citizens, right? So I think that's it. So now let's remember that on my top.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So they're graduating or they're prepared for the plan. And I pulled this off their site and it doesn't even have what we have in the little point thing. And I couldn't remember when I looked twice on the website and I couldn't come up with anything.
Core values.
And I don't like this because this is the coronavirus.
Yes.
Taking that one away.
Leanne, are you doing Chat GPT?
No, I'm doing thesaurus.
Which,
Excuse me.
Synonym, strengthen those words.
Goodness.
they have things like ready to.
Aggies don't do that. We don't do that.
Understand.
Ready to become leaders in the community, reach their full potential. I'm just looking for graduate prepared for. Let's see, they took that off the CCMR. They're gonna make them back in the pad.
The mission of AISD is built on a tradition of multifaceted opportunities for a safe and caring learning environment, inspiring students to reach their full potential as citizens and leaders to meet future challenges. So, just cut out 30% of the words. It's probably still too long.
Yep.
For me and you, that's good. Is it simple, easy to remember? Is that the 32nd? Like, if you're going to, if she's going to. What were some of the other?
Participate in society.
No. These. Mission and yeah, so I think if you type that out, it's really the same. Right.
Or the way we're ready for rigorous society.
Yeah, sure.
You want them to.
That's a federal crime.
And the whole idea is you wanna bake them, like, it's been 350 degrees in the oven for an hour.
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
Yes. Build student character. And
Did y'all get ready? I'm gonna write it down.
Guess am I right?
Just the ability to be successful. You didn't say build student character, you said develop, no. Develop. challenges. 4 life's challenges. I know.
That's what I'm trying to make it.
AISD, destination district.
Is to develop students' character.
To develop student character that reads them, reads them for the postgraduate world. Yeah, no, there's nothing. To develop student character and abilities and abilities.
Hang those up over here. Liz.
Individuals or just success or just success. Individual potential.
Success can be broad.
Okay.
Is this broad?
Sure, how far to do it? Meet future challenges. Yeah, but the buy-in through. I don't see that piece there.
Y'all still working?
Yeah, we're still working.
You're good.
We're close.
You're good.
We're real
Yep.
close.
When you're ready, tell me and I'm gonna write it up.
Okay.
Okay, the mission of AISD, the destination district.
Is to develop students with character and abilities to achieve.
Ooh, you have it written down? Okay, you read it. Students with character and abilities. No, that's really to achieve success. Okay.
That's the only thing I couldn't, I'll stand alone on. It's like,
Are y'all finished? I want you to read it to me.
how about, I don't really want to read it out loud, I want people eavesdropping.
Oh,
No, we're done. I mean, we're good. We're just gonna rewrite it
just
so that
kidding.
somebody
I'm
can read it.
Pencils down.
Pencils down. Things over.
Was it the old Miss Baby?
okay. It's Oh, okay. All right. So two. All right.
He's a great actor. Yeah, he always has been. He's 40. Can't believe that. Yeah. There's no cheating. I'm talking about your Jordan to get more information. She gave me some insightful words.
Okay, yes. I am too. What's under your concern?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Everything?
Nothing.
That you have to know that.
I want everybody to know, nothing.
Today's 43 years. We went out to dinner yesterday. So good. He knows the key words, which is yes, dear.
Yes, dear.
So zero
Okay, y'all ready
control.
for me to write yours?
All right.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay. Love it.
Did she need a new marker for yours?
Oh gosh, how many trees you gonna kill?
What y'all do? You're mean. God, stop calling me. I'll call you back.
Another deposit.
Character.
Not this guy. This guy wants to take it away.
I think we could just have it. We just had to work, the little group on work, women used to be on their specific, and if they want us to fill in something, this, what makes us different. Really, so we can.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From
Better not be.
So get everybody's job done.
I'm gonna move this. Is this gonna be in the way if
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah, we're good.
You're fine.
400.
All right, take a minute
Drawer could be
to
18
read
years
your
old.
friends' versions of what we have.
Good stuff in all of those.
Yeah, that's true. Success in life. To develop student character. Oh, students with character. Okay, that's fine.
Okay, now put that in Chat GPT and let it merge it.
Yes. And it comes blah, blah, blah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is,
It's a whole bunch of nothing. What is this?
we're gonna talk about each of them, and we're gonna underline, or I'm gonna circle words that y'all like. Now, don't comment on your own, so,
Oh,
because you wrote it, you have to like the words in it, right? Okay, so let's start up here with our friends who went to the side. What do y'all like about this one?
I like the best version of themselves.
Okay, like this,
Well done.
okay?
I like exceptional word.
Are y'all gonna pay compliments?
Why did you cross out the top?
Hold on, there's actually a line in ours missing.
Oh,
I thought that was a little short.
Yeah, where's your mark?
Did you run out of markers?
is it after this sentence?
No, it's definitely not.
Well, let's rewrite it now.
Come back to you.
Look how popular it
Let's
was.
count the words now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be worse now.
Now we're gonna.
It was very brief and nice, now it's.
There's just hope.
All right, I'm just gonna use this to write it.
Okay. To provide.
You have to see.
Okay, all students.
Of course we are. This one too. Listen, you said when you drop candy, it sounds like a rock.
Totally forgot that.
Where'd you guys get the candy from? What's up with that?
You got a good job.
I went in there.
Comma.
It's probably old.
Okay.
Are you the bluebirds?
Y'all can have,
I've done enough damage
Yeah, me too.
with birthday cake this week. Good.
is it gone?
After last night, it's pretty close.
The best version of themselves. Okay,
So you decided to be.
thank you.
Mhm.
Apologize.
I got my markers over here.
That's my fault. Just giving them one candy.
You didn't even tell us it was one.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Humility, core value.
Okay.
So we're supposed to tell you what we like?
Tell me what you
I like the other one.
about. Tell me what you like about it. Not
First of all, he
yours.
didn't follow directions. It's supposed to start with
Well-
the mission of our class.
Can I
Okay,
speak
go
to that?
ahead and
Can I
tell them
speak to
why.
that? on every single digital platform that we have, it's gonna say Argyle ISD mission statement, and then redundantly you say, the mission of Argyle ISD. You don't have to put, it's implied, it's understood.
I know, I was just following directions.
Well,
That's what we did.
We intentionally
I
scratched
follow
it out.
directions.
That's right here.
Alright, it's all
But
good.
we're just saying,
You,
like,
you took
you
your
don't
own
have
approach.
to put it.
Alright, so I'm gonna go back and we liked exceptional, right? And we liked
Best
The best version.
best version.
I like tradition of excellence.
Tradition of
See, that's what we left out.
I
You just
know,
did
I
that
mean,
just
it
to
just
make us
went from
happy.
like, that's really good to,
Twinkles,
Yeah.
fingers.
Okay,
Sparkle fingers.
anything else? I think those are the big key phrases in those.
Jazz hands.
Alright, what about this one?
I like character.
Achieve success.
I like academic distinction too. Sam, I don't like any of them.
I was gonna say that, but you never stopped talking.
Okay. Alright, what about this one?
I don't like that that one says the mission of Argyle ISD. I think that should be scratched out on that one only.
Alright.
So we are like.
Is there anything you do like about this one?
Everything.
I like safe and caring.
Okay.
Like,
Inspiring.
Grammatically though,
Inspiring.
would you put a comma
Inspiring.
between caring though? Cause that just says caring learning, right?
Safe and
You-
caring learning environment.
I don't know, is it a caring learning environment? I don't know, I just thought it would make more sense with safe and caring learning environment. I'm just asking grammatically.
It's grammar.
Anything else in that one?
I like the leaders to meet
Yeah.
future challenges.
Yeah, I like that too.
I had something written down similar to that. But the challenge was, without using something like citizens, what's another way to phrase that? I like the leader part, but there's gotta be a way to phrase it.
Instead of that.
The other,
yeah.
yeah.
Dr. Johnson, if we have our core values, do we not want to repeat them in the mission statement?
I mean, yeah, you don't need to list these out because you've got them here. So, once again, this is thinking of where you're going, where you are, what's your purpose, what's your reason. Okay, so I want you to look up there, those four bullets, and look at these. Think about those four things up there.
Cause your
And read
mission's
them.
focusing on today, vision is the futuristic piece.
Right,
Okay.
right. So think about that. We still have a whole nother statement to write, and that's the vision. So these things, that's really our next statement,
That's the vision today.
okay? This is definitely mission. This is definitely mission.
So the second half of ours could be vision.
That's
Yeah,
next.
that's vision.
Right.
We're
Okay,
skipping ahead.
We're just trying to be succinct.
okay, y'all are jumping ahead. All right, I'm just gonna move this over here. Now, let's go to, Sam's point. Are we scratching the top of the sentence, or are we?
That's the Slayton's point, not
Okay,
the-
sorry, Slayton point.
Just wanna make-
Or are we, or are we going to incorporate that, the mission of?
I think you put it somewhere, even if it's on like a website or written somewhere, the mission of Argyle ISD is, and then you put your little paragraph. Or you incorporate it because you have to
Instead of
identify it
having,
as a
that's
mission.
the one thing about this, you're gonna have a few of these things, right? If you don't have mission somewhere in the paragraph, and we don't put vision somewhere in the vision paragraph, it's gonna get confusing. People are gonna be like, well, which is
Well,
which?
as much as it pains me to agree with Sam, on the websites or social
Yeah.
media or places like that, so maybe there's two versions. There's one that's on the website where it's clearly stated mission.
If it's titled,
If the page is titled, then
Right.
it doesn't include that statement.
Yep, I like that.
If we're using it somewhere else, then it does.
It doesn't need that prelude.
Right.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I think if it's like a 30-second elevator pitch, like if we go to TASB or we're in whatever, and we're telling people what we are, the
Right.
mission of our ISD
Right.
is this,
Okay.
and it's a 30-second.
So I'm gonna put that up here with the dots, like you said, and then we'll list below where we go with this.
You've told me multiple times, like, sold us the sale.
Well, I guess is too, yeah. Okay. So, let's look back over here and let's kind of start with something. Let's just throw something out that we think would be a good start to this mission.
So 2 of the 3 talk about tradition.
Yeah,
Um,
okay.
so
It's built on.
Do we like this beginning? Are we boxing ourselves in just talking about students in this thing?
Well, this is our why,
Mhm.
right? That's what it's about.
Okay,
The thing that, I mean, I'm just going back to your little instructions here, but, you know, there was a thing there to put a unique identity. How does our district distinguish
Set
itself
itself
from
apart.
others? Which is, I know, that's why we put destination district, but if you guys don't wanna, I'm just following the
template.
template.
Sure.
but I think, you know, not everybody can say they're a destination district.
Well, we call ourselves that. Do other people call us that? I don't know.
Because I think globally in the state, we're a fast growth district, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
For
agree,
now.
we call ourselves.
We say that because we're growing through the roof and
Well,
people
for
wanna
now
be
we
here.
are.
Yeah.
10 years from now, or 12 years from now, maybe not.
But I think when you say it's built on tradition or has something with tradition,
Excuse me.
that tradition was built by the kids.
A district of traditional values, or
Just tradition of excellence.
Yeah.
I've seen that. I've seen a district of choice because people move into an area for a district.
Choice is a triggering word with our current legislation.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
like
Alright.
that word
Okay.
right now, personally.
So say what you said, Leona. Who did you
a
say?
destination district.
What was the other one? Tradition and
Oh, of traditional values.
the mission of Argyle ISD, a district of tradition and values.
I mean, that's if you wanna put it in there, I didn't,
I like that because I had values down as one of the things that I thought was important.
And it ties in core values, and then all together.
The district,
Mrs.
would you
Howard.
say?
So is the mission
district-
statement supposed to tie in the core and the vision, or is the vision statement eventually gonna tie it all in?
The
Vision
statement
is
tells you
like where you're going,
Going.
your future.
So-
But your mission would be tied to your core values.
Right, right.
A district built on tradition and values.
Yeah,
Y'all like that?
yes. Well done, Stan.
oh, that's good.
Basically
I mean,
saying white
these are
orange.
good.
Yeah.
Will you read my second line out there? Built on tradition.
Okay. And then,
It's competition.
what's our purpose? Students, student excellence, student opportunities, student experience. So let's think about our purpose as a district. We want to inspire students. We want to create academic distinction. We want to create success, provide opportunities. Do y'all like that phrase, student experience, create the best student, or the,
I think education has to be part of it in some degree.
okay?
For me.
So academics, like that kind of terminology? Okay, is to what's the sentence we're going for here?
Well, the is to is almost kind of like your short-term goal,
It's your current,
your current goal.
it's your present state.
We wanna create the multifaceted, and again, I don't keep trying to just go back to mine, but I'm just looking at ours.
Sure.
But it's multifaceted opportunity. So,
Right, it's to provide.
Well, and I look at this, today's mission, whether it's college readiness, military readiness, it's multi-layered.
I do think you have to balance that with what, like, we're not just trying to get kids out in the workforce or trying to get them to college, like, you're really building who they are and creating the next generation and how they're gonna behave and interact through how they experience high school in some ways.
So is the purpose of the district to create student opportunities, student success?
Can we provide, because it's
Provide.
present day, so we
Mhm.
are doing that,
Sure,
right?
sure. So is to provide,
That may be.
Providing education opportunities and a safe and
Academic opportunity.
academic opportunities?
Well, it's more than that, cause it's
It's it's
it's multifaceted. You almost said that.
multifaceted.
But you, not to be redundant, I'm just talking aloud, but to provide an exceptional education with multifaceted opportunities in a safe environment, safe and
Okay.
caring environment, something like that.
Okay, say that again, is to
To provide exceptional education with multifaceted opportunities in a safe and caring environment.
To provide
But how is that different than a vision?
education.
Because we're doing it
You're
today.
doing it right now.
Okay.
I think it's a little wordy.
Right?
I think we need to bring
I
that
think
down
so.
a little bit, minimize that.
We
So
would
it's to
definitely take
provide
multifaceted
educational
opportunities
experiences.
out.
Do,
Is
what,
to provide educational experiences in multifaceted.
Through relationship building.
in a variety of opportunities?
Can opportunities just be plural on its own and be enough?
Sure, so
Provider.
is to provide an exceptional,
How would I say?
Education.
How are students with?
You said education,
okay,
And it provide an exceptional education
Experience.
through.
through,
I think that's,
through
got
oppor-
it. I don't know if you need to, oh, but you're gonna
Exceptional
go by,
educational
by or through,
experience.
okay.
through
Exceptional educational experience.
an exceptional education through opportunities in a safe and caring environment, something like that. With, I don't know if you need to put an adjective there, with opportunities or with multiple opportunities or with,
Through multiple opportunities?
And
Didn't you say
exceptional
through?
education.
Well,
Yeah.
we've got,
Experience
But we gotta do through at the top.
yeah.
through, um, through
Exceptional educational
multifaceted
experiences.
opportunities.
Should this have an AL at the end of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why'd you say you have to do through at the top?
The through's the next one, isn't it?
right, through's the next one, by or through. How do we get there?
Providing exceptional
Provide an
education
exceptional
experience, and then
educational
you put
experience
through underneath,
multiple
right?
opportunities, various opportunities.
You said through,
Through, multiple opportunity, whatever we're working with, or just multiple opportunities. And not
Just opportunities.
Through opportunities,
Yeah.
no,
through opportunities
through opportunities.
or
In a safe and caring.
In a safe and,
Caring learning
in a safe
environment.
environment, safe and caring
in a safe and
environment.
caring
in a
environment.
safe and caring,
Environment.
just environment, don't put learning,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, read it to yourself first. has to be a word before this
Yeah,
word.
I do too.
Meaningful.
That's why you left it blank after 3.
Yeah.
Me,
Did you say meaningful?
meaning.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
Meaningful?
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
That adding
Okay.
education.
It is. That's it.
It's not Munster.
The mission of Argyle ISD, a district built on tradition and values, is to provide an exceptional educational experience through meaningful opportunities in a safe and caring environment.
Boom.
Good.
I love it.
Got it. Check.
That's awesome. Okay.
Man, that took us like 3 days.
Actually,
Well, that's what it really
actually,
works.
actually, you did really well. That's a lot to have to come to consensus over.
Can we go back to your graphic on where we're at?
All right. Take that down.
Doing well, doing well.
All right, now let's work on the vision.
Yes.
Okay. So. No, you don't. So.
Do what?
We have no vision.
Oh,
So.
we don't know what to start with right now.
I think what they did when I looked through your current plan is I think they really leaned on those core values for a lot of that. So there is no vision statement in the district right now.
There was a reason that I don't
Okay, remember?
slept since then.
So this focuses on the future. It's a source of inspiration and motivation. Tells you where you want to be. All right. So we're going to create one. This is one of our final things, and then we're going to look at the motto and our motto.
Okay.
So here's some examples. And this can be all over the place. This doesn't have to have a specific start or, sentence structure. But you notice a lot of them say will be, because that's where you're going. All right, so, you're projecting to the next one, okay? So I'm gonna
Yeah.
put the mission over there so y'all can see it as you start working on this, now that you kind of see where that is.
So to Mr. Hawksworth's point,
Mm-hmm.
each one of our mission statements has
Has a vision.
in
It
it.
does.
The
It
bottom
does.
of each of them.
Yes.
Each one
talk
of them.
about the future.
Yep. So, what I want you to do is go with your friend again, and I want you to think about working on a vision statement, okay? And creating that, and we're gonna do the same thing we just did. I'm gonna leave these up here as examples, and I'm gonna move this stuff around.
We take the bottom half.
Inspiring and empowering.
Yeah, no.
No, because.
Yeah, I think there's several of the future pieces right there.
Yeah, because it just says will be, right, what we're aspiring to be. So really, if
Aspire
you take
to
the
be.
bottom half of ours and say, Argyle ISD will inspire students to reach their full potential as citizens and leaders to meet future challenges.
Oh, I like that too.
No, I'm sure there's some wordsmithing in there somewhere, but.
Absolutely there is.
You notice we're like children. Not everything's a compass.
Well-rounded.
Oh, well-rounded, very well-rounded. Exceptional.
Exceptional.
Well-rounded. Giving Dr. Carpenter a headache. I saw a rubber. They're killing me.
You're an Enneagram, all 3s and 1s over here. That's all it is. You're not a 5. Is there a through? Like, can you have it through in a vision statement?
Sure. There's no, yeah. It's a little looser as how you set this one up.
She's not on this side.
They're getting there as well.
So what was the concern? I just
You talking about people that are here? No, I just, for
Lizzie,
those that aren't
Lizzie,
legal per se. So
using the
I
word,
just
can
want
you
to
say
better,
like a
okay, so
Yes,
it's not so
right.
much
rather than will
citizens
be?
Yeah,
of
sure,
America,
sure,
it's a
sure.
word
Yeah.
that is more
Something
encompassing
that's
of
just
both.
thinking ahead.
Well,
That's
versus,
a
no, I
good
like
word.
leaders.
Okay.
You know, I just, something other than just.
Academics, distinction.
Okay, so I'm gonna leave that blank then. I'm gonna put some quotes
Where did you get that
Create
candy?
future leaders.
Here, you want some?
I know, everybody's
Okay.
been asking him that question.
I found it in there in a drawer. It's probably 20 years old.
I didn't even know where to find candy.
It's from your previous meetings.
Probably.
Somebody put it in their pocket,
Yeah.
then they decided they didn't want it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's bad. Because when you're providing, if you're providing academic distinction, you're providing to our original thinking that we use that.
So we didn't think of it for citizens, I did what she did.
See, we used it here.
Okay, that might work.
She started with inspiring, I like the.
I think that's a good,
Inspire,
as we say,
empower,
empower,
inspire.
inspire students.
Anybody have something they want me to
Yeah.
pin? Okay.
Want me to come up there and?
It doesn't matter, you can say it from there. Okay.
Um,
If you're not this, you're dead.
I will.
I don't know if that's what I said. Using your concern about that word.
So,
But I think you're not supposed to be prepared. So, as community members,
this is what you want.
so I just put it in parentheses and if somebody's.
Okay, somebody else? Do y'all have one ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
That sound good?
Um,
We're ready.
Argyle ISD will inspire
Yes.
students
You don't need to phone a friend.
to reach their full potential. I still have as citizens and leaders to meet future challenges.
Yeah, that's okay.
Us to,
Citizens
To
and
meet-
leaders to meet future challenges. I tried to look up another word for citizens that we could interchange. We talked about putting students there, but I've already used students at the top. so.
yeah, okay.
Constituents.
Okay, Slayton's.
No relation.
Both from Alabama. Something in the wood pile. Something in the wood pile. Okay, so you can change this. I don't know.
It's a thought.
This could, I like this part.
Yeah.
Then I just don't know what this, it could be kids.
It's a different word for students, kids.
Kids, kiddos.
Kiddos. Kids are wise kids.
Principled, knowledgeable citizens. Graduates, there we go. Look, students, and this is graduates. That better, you like that better? Graduates instead of citizens?
So we're gonna change citizens to graduates.
No?
It hasn't passed the leaders?
I like citizens, but you poo-pooed it.
I did, but graduates is worse.
What happened to the brainstorming? There's no bad idea brainstorming.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. What do we like about this one? Tell me a words to underline.
That we wrote it.
Can y'all see it over there?
Academic distinction.
I like distinction, leaders.
Future leaders.
Okay,
Best version of them.
Best versions.
Yeah.
all right, what about this one?
Everything about
All
it.
of it.
Oh,
You can't
Inspire.
comment on your own.
inspire,
I like the
okay.
word inspire, cause
So we talked about, Argyle ISD will inspire kids to reach
Uh-huh.
their full potential as citizens and leaders
Or students.
or students.
I like students.
I like
Yes,
students.
I like students here
Yeah.
better, yeah.
You're just trying to drive it into our why.
Kids could be, you and Craig.
Sometimes.
Sir.
Big
Or you could do this, you could
Baby
say
kids.
Argyle ISD will inspire all
Our definition of kids.
to reach their full potential as students and leaders.
You like that?
Yes.
Did you hear me?
No.
I said.
You're looking at me smiling, I'm
You
like, yes.
you could change students to all, and then change this to students. So
Okay.
Argyle ISD will inspire all to reach their full potential as students and leaders to meet future challenges.
Hang on, we gotta check with you.
Oh,
get a phone a friend.
He's not liking it, man.
Not
He's
liking
not-
it.
He's not feeling it.
Who wants to scrap it?
alright.
No, I didn't mind the all
Oh,
It was as students and leaders. It's just the pairing something with leaders.
With leaders is a little difficult sometimes, yeah. Anything else on here that y'all like, that you want me to underline?
It's very little in that
I
one.
mean, full potential goes a lot
No, I mean,
in line with
yeah.
best version.
I mean, I
Future
like
challenge.
leaders.
Leaders.
But it might be with that one that you're even taking graduates out just to reach
And just
their
say
full
as
potential-
leaders.
Full potential
Mhm.
as leaders.
But not every.
Because we
but
have
not
higher
every kid's a leader.
expectations.
Right, so either you're a graduate and a leader, or
So,
you're
so
saying you're just a
I can do
graduate.
that because
It's
we have high
as-
expectations for our
I thought
students and
we
they
did
will
the
become
leaders.
leaders.
And-
It's not-
and
Or you
leader-
can just
and
take that
to
out.
lead doesn't, I mean.
It doesn't
means a lot
mean
of
you're,
different
You
things.
could
Doesn't
just take
CFO or.
take that out.
Correct.
Right, okay.
Everybody,
Yeah,
yes.
so maybe
Everyone
I
has
like
the
that
opportunity to
better,
be a
inspire
leader.
students to reach their full potential
That's
as
what we were just.
leaders.
And just take this
Does it
out.
read
Yeah,
the leader of
just
the
take
company?
that out and
Yeah.
say as
It just
leaders.
means that you're the leader of your own life. The graduate.
Okay.
For your family.
Okay? Alright, what do y'all like over here?
Nothing.
Roll Tide.
Oh.
Yeah, the roll tide roll.
You know, you're right.
I'm not ever gonna say that, I'm never gonna say that.
You can guess
My
which
money
one.
goes there or
I'm
not.
with
Not saying.
What do y'all like, any words on here we like?
Power and,
There's inspiring again.
yeah,
I think empowering is
the
good.
best version again, so I think those will make the cut.
So putting through our mission, like that was intentional to put people back to the mission. So we're doing, our vision is seen through following the mission, so that's why we added that.
Yeah, to refer back to it.
Yeah,
'Cause that's the everyday,
that's where we
mission
are.
is your
present
everyday,
day.
your everyday, your everyday.
Right. Okay. Alright, let's do it.
No one underlined roll tide roll.
So are we starting with Argyle ISD since that's 2 out of 3?
Yes.
Sam.
Will be.
Hold on, let me refer back to where I'm at here. Gotta find where I am on the chart. I'm gonna say I'm gonna stand aside.
Okay. On the gradients. So this one use will, this one use aspires, and then inspire and empower. Think about how we can,
I think will
Mhm.
inspire and or empower.
Mm-hmm. Argyle ISD will inspire and empower students.
As much as I like the word empowering,
Okay,
inspiring is stronger.
okay,
I
so
think it
just use that
encompasses,
one word.
Yes, because you can empower someone, but that doesn't inspire them. And inspire is, if you can inspire someone, they will grow
They
on their
go
own.
and do it on their own.
Yeah.
Okay. Will inspire students.
See how objective that was?
Good couch stuff there.
Do we like through our mission? Do we like going back to referring to that? Or do we wanna move forward with the rest of the statement? Because we do have a mission. I like how y'all referred to it. I don't know if it's necessary in this. It might make it a little wordy.
I'll leave
I
a
will
placeholder
stand
for it and see
aside.
how it forms out.
I mean, you've got two of them that have best version of themselves.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
to
like
inspire
that.
students to become the best version of themselves, I mean,
Mhm.
could it be that simple?
It could, for sure.
I think you could somehow academic distinction, or
Inspire students.
maximizing potential or whatever can go there.
So you could say,
I like maximizing.
will inspire students to maximize,
Academic
Potential.
distinction
Their
or
potential.
potential.
maximize their potential
In
to
becoming,
become.
or
the-
in becoming.
Can we read our mission again?
Sure.
And see if we're in,
In the ballpark.
It takes all of that to maximize someone's potential.
Yeah, you're right. Okay,
And
so.
to be the best version of yourself, cause
Mhm.
you learn that through an exceptional experience and being and taking opportunities and being in.
Safe environment, yeah. So to maximize,
Inspire students.
Maximize
To
potential.
So maximize their potential or
Their-
full potential.
their full potential.
Is maximizing full,
inspire
is that the same?
students
we could say
to
self-actualize.
become,
To reach
best-
their full potential, should we stick with that
Didn't hear it there.
and not try to word it up so much?
To maximize their full potential.
to reach
To
their,
reach their
to
full
reach
Or
their
reach
full
just to stay
potential.
reach.
You like the reach or the maximize?
I think if you do maximize, you don't have to have full.
To
maximize
maximize
their
their
To
potential.
maximize their potential.
And becoming the best version of themselves or something like that.
Cause that kinda covers everybody. I mean, we just got such a wide range of student abilities and interests and things like that, but. Others will inspire students to maximize their potential to become the best version of themselves.
Okay, hear me out, I'm just
Yep,
talking out loud.
that's what I want you to do.
Argyle ISD will inspire students through our mission to maximize their potential to become the best version of themselves. Just throwing it out there.
Okay, how do y'all feel about that?
Say it again.
Argyle ISD will inspire students through our mission to maximize their potential to be the best version of themselves.
Since we have 2 and 2, can we say to maximize their potential in
And-
becoming the best version
In
of
becoming
themselves?
or
And become.
And become.
And become, or that, yeah.
Or just and be.
Maximize their potential
And be the best version of themselves.
to become.
Well, I thought this was about the future.
It is, but
It is, yeah.
By late.
We kinda need to leave, you're right, that's a good point.
it's a great point, Mr. Hawkins.
Hey, I get one.
Okay, what do y'all think about that?
Wanna meet,
He threw
I like it.
our mission on the wall. I don't know if it's
Maximize their
stuck.
potential and become the best version of themselves.
I mean,
Can you point
I'm really
More
good.
of gradients of agreement, please.
Veto. Veto. He's like,
That's a
No,
lot.
he didn't go anywhere in the middle.
Yeah, he's just going straight
Right,
to
beat
it. No,
you.
no.
He's an extremist.
What do you think?
I'm not saying you have to have it, I just, obviously have personal bias through it, but I think pushing people back to our,
I think
To the current, to how it
values
works,
support the mission.
and then it
Or
goes
mission
back to.
supports the
Through our
vision.
daily
Right.
mission,
Right. Right.
Argyle ISD will inspire students to maximize.
I like daily.
Through our daily mission, comma, start with that.
Through our daily mission.
Through our daily mission, I'm just throwing that out there, I'm more
So
spaghetti on the
through
wall.
our daily mission, our LSD will inspire.
That way it's all flowing together, you don't pause in the middle.
Yeah. So you start with through.
Yes, through our daily mission.
Our LSD will inspire students to maximize their potential.
They've got sticky.
sticky, big sticky easels, that's the fanciest, but. Big sticky Post-its. I feel like you're supposed to use these things, capital. Those? No. Whiteboards, but.
Big old frosty. So I was in a high-rise deal.
That's what we should
It just stands up.
You need voting cards
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
that say
I get-
block,
He starts.
Oh, yeah.
stand aside, abstain.
Yay, nay.
You wanna change it?
Yeah. All of these.
Oh, yeah.
They'd have
Hey,
choices.
whiteboard. It was just frosted glass, it wasn't the kind you write. So we had to replace, it was a fill, we had to replace the whole thing.
We're watching you tackle that thing.
I know.
Got it.
Okay,
Can I throw a wrench out there? Can I throw a wrench out?
all right.
We
Read
vetoed it.
that.
I say block.
You're blocking that?
I don't like that beginning phrase, not necessary.
Which one?
The through our daily mission, that's like inherent in the whole thing, just.
So you're saying, remove this and just say this, like what we had up here. Comments?
I do,
So you don't want
whether it's
through our
the
mission at all?
So the potential to become the best version.
whether it's the mission at the top or the mission at the bottom, I do like having the mission refer back to the values and the vision refer back to the mission. So I just have, just having that word in there seems to like link it all together for me. I don't know whether it's daily or through or whatever, but
Okay.
some version of that I think is, for
I
me,
mean, I would
ties it all
definitely take
together.
out daily.
What?
I would definitely take it, me personally, I'd take out daily. I
Just
don't-
say through our mission.
Which is what we had, yeah.
Yeah,
So just take out daily.
yeah.
Do y'all like it that at the top instead of in the middle? I think it's better at the
Yeah, I
top.
like it at the top.
As an
Yeah, I think
intro.
that's what we're trying to grasp.
You know, it's like a bam, here's, this is what we do.
Inspire students.
So here's the reason why I wanted to include through our mission and kind of like the inspiration. So like on our homepage at Sante, like we have mission, vision, and values. But on the values section, and this is what Mr. Hawksworth was saying, ours says captivated by our vision, the best way we can effectively implement our mission is to adhere to these universally shared values that are true to our core. So I think that's why I was trying to tie
Connect
them,
them all together.
connect them all together like that.
Because see, you mentioned values here,
Yeah.
they go back to here.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
No, I
think
get that.
the
That makes
daily
sense.
kinda got
And
it.
then, yeah, and then
Yeah,
mission
the
brings
daily.
it back.
Yeah,
But that's good?
it's better, it's more generic and, oh, it's that third.
Very
person,
broad.
but-
And that's what a vision should be, very broad, very big thinking, global. We good?
Can I be a little
I'm
bit,
good.
just throw
Nope.
a wrench, and everyone can just say no?
No.
No, but not yet, but not until I say it. So Frisco ISD, their mission is to know each student by name and need. And I like that they focus on each student, because I think one of the things that happens in growing districts is you kind of have kids that get lost in the middle. And so I thought on our mission, which I know is long, so you can veto me, but is to provide an exceptional educational experience for each student. Just to kind of get that individual.
Well, I was even gonna say you could add the word each in the vision too. Argyle ISD will inspire each student to maximize their potential.
Yes,
Because then it's specific
Yes.
to them.
yes.
So you could just add the word each.
But then you go into the pronouns, and it's like, do you put his, you know? I mean, really, because you can't say their,
Yeah, I just
because
think
that's not
each
proper,
is
it's
very-
not proper grammar.
So where did you wanna add it here?
Provide an exceptional educational experience for each student, or to each student. Provide it for each student.
For each.
But if it's
For
too
each
long,
student.
y'all can say no, and don't, it will not hurt my feelings.
I think it's good to be specific. I think that being specific brings a level of,
Individuality, like we're individually focused.
Like just noticing.
So take off the each up at the top, cause it gets into
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, we don't
Yeah.
need the each.
We don't need it
Well,
up here?
Okay,
no,
that's-
because then you
Okay.
have to change grammatically what you say.
Cause then
But
if
down
you're
there.
saying mission
You have
in
to
the
say-
vision,
yeah.
then you're
Okay.
going back to.
I like it.
Good?
Our mission, Argyle ISD
Thank
will
you.
inspire students
Thank you.
Yeah.
to maximize
I think we should start over.
We have time.
Right.
I thought she was coming over to hit me.
Oh,
You were walking with a purpose.
Here
I was
she
like, oh gosh.
Here she goes. Okay, fantastic, great job. All right, the last item before we do our SWOT and conclude tonight is the motto. So it is a short descriptive phrase, represents a set of beliefs, ideas, or values, and summarizes the district's motivation or intent. You have a very prominent one that you use, but as we know, eagles will, will not always.
There are other birds.
But we're gonna be words.
Okay.
So it'll be another bird, so I think soar
It works,
worked for me.
Yeah.
It does.
okay?
Birds are-
I mean, I know it's very well used. People use it, they hashtag it, I mean,
It can be.
I'm sure Mr. Herron can tell us all about it. It's,
I think
you know.
al-
No, actually, that's
although we,
coming up.
obviously, we're not in the weeds of that decision-making
it.
process yet. I do think, like, as a district, I think it's important, like, we fly together, like,
Okay.
together we're moving forward together, because this is a mission for the district. This isn't a mission for one high school, this is a mission for the district, and
Yep, I like that.
we're going to be moving together, and this is how birds move.
Yeah,
What-
it's very
What happens here
recognizable.
changes the world.
I like it.
When you see that, you know where it Okay,
I like it.
very good. All right, so, this is I'm going to stop sharing because you have it there in your packet, because I gotta take
Yeah.
notes of the stuff that you're about to tell me. So, I want you to take some time right now, and I want you to make some notes on your SWOT analysis. And so, I'm gonna go around and we're gonna start with strengths, and I'm just gonna ask you to share one at a time, and then we'll go around again and again and again till everybody has shared all of theirs. And then we'll move on to weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And so just take some notes on your page, and I'm gonna include you in this. So I want you to take some notes and drop down some ideas. You don't have to verbatim answer these questions, they're just some prompts for you. to have all your ideas down, just some brainstorming. You may generate some as you hear others share theirs. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, we're gonna start with strengths, and don't say one that's already been said. And if we get to you at some point and you have no more, just say pass. I just wanna make sure everybody gets theirs, you know, added to the bundle. So I am going to take notes of this, so give me a second if I need you to slow down a little bit. All of this will be gathered and put on slides, so, and the committees will see this. They're gonna see all this information, so just remember that as we go through all of this, it's very transparent to them. All right, Rich, we're gonna start with you, okay?
Gotcha. To my knowledge, what we do well is I truly believe we communicate to the community, and it's extremely transparent in my opinion.
Great, next. Craig?
I wrote quite a few, but I'm gonna, then decided to just sum it up and
Okay.
say, I think we do school well. Like, I think we educate our kids well. We provide opportunities. We support each other. You know, from a team's perspective, the kids do it well. I think a lot of the challenges we have they don't come from the kids, they come from the community.
We'll get to that, we'll get to those. Okay, that's good.
I think we
like
do
the way you
school
said
well.
that.
How about
We
that?
do school well, all right? And we're gonna go around again, so if you have multiple, we're gonna capture them. Okay, Matt,
Well, I was, community and parental involvement
okay,
were things that I think are strengths of the district.
got it. Sam?
Safety and security.
I think we bring it well. I think we get a lot of parent, community buy-in because people identify with what Argyle is.
I'm gonna say brand well, which increases parent and community involvement. Okay?
Taking my stuff.
I know.
My first one was outstanding teachers and staff.
Okay, love it. Okay, back to the beginning. You have another one?
I
Didn't do reverse.
Yeah.
Okay, reverse.
Snake
yes.
draft.
All right.
Another one, ooh, I got another one, thank you.
So fair.
Sorry.
Such parity.
That's okay.
Mr. Oxford said five.
I love it.
High level
I
of
appreciate you
achievement.
being fair.
is
Okay,
that-
yeah,
Okay.
I
perfect.
didn't hear you because Sam was
High
talking.
level of achievement.
Okay.
Okay,
I'm gonna go real niche and say fine arts.
love it. And that's perfect. You can definitely do that.
That
Oh,
well.
do you have one? I'm sorry, I kind of skipped you.
That's okay, no, I wanted to hear that, I didn't wanna take one of theirs
All right,
first, so I was,
okay.
I was gonna, no, nothing that I can add to
Okay.
right now.
Okay. Same.
This has been said in multiple different ways, but I guess just emphasizing community support. Like, we support our community, whether that's teachers, students, parents, well.
Okay,
I'm gonna pass now.
okay.
Pass.
I said, we are a with what's special and unique, I said we're a destination district with fast growth, because I think that is unique to us.
For sure. Okay, I'm gonna go, back. You have another one?
No.
Back this way,
Done. Pass.
circling back.
Extracurriculars
Okay.
like sports too.
Mhm.
I mean,
Women
we do
excel
all the
well.
extracurriculars
Mhm.
well. You can't say fine arts enough.
We win and excel well.
Got it.
Engaged students, engaged students.
Yes, ma'am. Are we missing anything? Anything else you want me to add to strengths?
The only other one that I had was, high level of commitment across the board.
Okay,
In other words, it's all parents and teachers
Mhm.
and students. Everybody works together, we sort of.
Very high work ethic.
Yeah.
love it. Okay, so this one can get a little personal, right? So our weaknesses, and just so you know, sometimes our strengths and our opportunities kind of meld, but they're a little different, just like our weaknesses and our threats, all right? So just moving on with that, I'm gonna start back over on this side, so weaknesses,
I mean, generically, state funding.
okay?
I mean, it's the financial
It could be
piece.
something outside of the district, absolutely, yes.
Well, our alignment across, but we're working on that, but I think getting the alignment across the multiple elementary campuses, cause
Okay.
we didn't have a plan, but now we do, but,
I
It's
think
still
that's
a
good that
struggle.
you're
It's a work
talking
in
about it, it's a
progress.
work in progress.
Not arrived yet.
right.
That's right, that's good, okay?
Our academics to comparable districts, high performing districts.
Mm.
Okay,
I only had a couple and they tackled those,
all right.
so I'm gonna pass for a minute, but
You're
come
gonna
back.
pass, okay. We'll circle
So
back.
I'm gonna start with, we are definitely working on it, but I think, I would still consider it a weakness of our ability to address misinformation, unwarranted or unfounded negativity. I think we're making a lot of progress in that area, but I don't know that that's ever gonna stop.
Yeah.
For the district to be addressing it is what I mean.
Sure,
So.
okay. Rick?
I put, what does our district need to improve? I think we've got to solidify forward thinking, not reactive,
So being proactive instead of reactive,
100%.
okay? Circle back this way again.
Secondary one I put is local commercial. I mean, like when our audit came down yesterday or whatever day we did that, it's like 6% commercial revenue, and that impedes what we can do with not having a commercial revenue sector. 6% to me is not a revenue sector.
Right, right. And that's a great talking point in this group, that's really good.
That was my other one.
Okay,
So,
okay,
Working on it, but professional development with teachers.
teacher learning. Okay,
I would just add to that, just because we're in the throes of it, but just the lack of resources for our growth, the land, the facilities, and again, goes back to the reactive piece.
okay,
And this is kind of outside of our control right now. It goes back to the funding, but our class ratios right now in some places are a weakness, and just how that affects the kids in the middle. Cause when you have big class sizes, you kind of deal with the upper and lower, and the kids in the middle kind of,
the middle grades,
yeah.
okay.
Well, the middle of the
You're
specific
on
class,
level
you're
students.
Oh,
you're
okay,
just on level kids.
got it,
Making sure that they're being challenged, but also being helped
Got
when
it.
needed.
okay,
The majority of the bell curve.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
that
for
is
sure.
completely shifted to the right in our district.
The 68 percenters.
Yeah.
I get, mine was basically long-term planning, you know, more in the sense, we don't have it now, but it should have been started back a while back, so that we're not where we are right now, which is land and all that
Got
other
it.
stuff.
Okay, come circle back.
I'm good.
To piggyback on what Craig said, about misinformation, I think one area that we can improve upon that's difficult is us setting the narrative for the district rather than constantly having to react to them, which we're limited a lot because we can't present things until they're voted on, but they know it's coming up for a vote and but just finding a way to be the one who sets the narrative.
Got it, that's a good point.
Dr. Carpenter.
I'm in line with y'all.
this probably goes with horizontal alignment, but the technology aspect of horizontal alignment across all campuses at every grade level, so.
Okay. You good? Craig, do you have another one?
So I have two more.
Okay.
I think coincides with what Leanne was talking about is I think we've got to create some dialogue between the board at some level legally that we can in the community, because a lot of the complaints and things we hear about is they will have their open forum of 5 minutes, but you know, and I know we're doing that with some of the dialogue back and forth on the email, or not the email, but the website.
Right.
But maybe some kind of, you know, I know at TASB, they talked about town halls and they talked about creating things where, you know, and I know you do your superintendent breakfast and all that, but it's just us being more maybe
As a
involved
board.
as a board.
That are legal.
That are legal,
Yeah, that are
correct.
legal.
That's
Yeah.
the
That's a better
point.
statement, yeah.
Yeah, the legal piece is what gets in the way.
And then the operative, us, I put, is what is preventing change. Us as a community, us as what we've always done. You know, somebody that's, I would still say at 7.5 years that's new here, we get blamed for some of the challenges that weren't done in previous years and boards because of how we were ran.
Got it.
Not to be
Okay. Any other weaknesses?
I have one more and then I'll be quiet.
Okay, no, you're fine. That's what this is about.
Just as we've grown and just have us shifting at different campuses, I know we wanted to this year, making sure that we're enforcing policies and making sure there's follow through across the board of our different policies.
Got it. Yep. That can get hard when you grow.
It does.
It really does. So that's a great point.
And-
Okay.
And as
Oh,
quickly as we have.
yes,
Yeah.
it gets ahead of you. Okay, any others for weaknesses, or are we gonna move on?
I hesitate saying it as a weakness because I think we focus on it, but it's just ties in with wellness, but mental health awareness and, not just for students, but for community, like just continued focus on that. I think it's so much like, so many things that we do, we're working on it, but could we do better? Are there areas for growth? And so if we're looking at, you know, areas for growth, I would say the emphasis on that, so.
Okay, I like that. All right, so let's move to opportunities. I'm gonna start back over here, since they didn't get this right.
Can I give you an opportunity and a threat, because I have to go to.
Oh, yeah, for sure, okay.
Is that a threat?
It's an opportunity. Better be an opportunity. So an opportunity, I think there's a potential for more partnership with the community, kind of where Rich was going with businesses, to help us expand CTE offerings in a really efficient manner before we get to a place where we can offer detailed
Yep.
CTE stuff.
Love that.
I think, you know, there's a way to do that,
Mhm.
and there's plenty of people in the community that would step up and help
Yep.
with that.
Yep.
My one threat is, kind of, again, what Rich was alluding to is, he had it as a weakness, it could be a threat. If we live on past successes and making the statement that, well, that's the way we do it, instead of looking and investigating other ways to do things and new ways to do things, to me,
Never move
that's
forward.
a very big threat, a risk.
Got it.
Myopic or.
Yeah,
Well,
just, you know, yeah, thank you. I'll leave you with that.
I know.
All right, thank you, sir.
Am I taking this? I can take this, right?
Yes, absolutely.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Rich, why don't you start with some
Yeah,
opportunities?
I said a lot of the same things that Craig just said. You know, I know there's a lot of business development, Gulfstream and things of that nature coming up 114, and I said local business improvement within our community with CTE and STEM.
Okay,
I don't know how that would look like. Obviously, that's not my area of expertise, but I think there's opportunities there if
Sure.
you'll reach out.
okay,
I still think there are opportunities to ensure that our students are engaged with extracurriculars in whatever form or fashion that takes up. We've got pretty lofty goals for participation, but there are opportunities to increase that.
Okay,
Increase partnerships with our legislators in Austin.
okay,
Those are what I had.
all right.
I thought we could increase meaningful opportunities for like our younger students, like elementary and middle school, and maybe look at bringing back field trips that we had that created that class bonding. The longer field trips were special.
Okay.
Fun.
It would be fun. It'd be fun to do with middle
If
school
you've
too.
never slept in the penguin habitat at
No,
SeaWorld.
but Matt did. Matt got to do that.
Forest Glen, there's Forest Glen. Oh.
Okay, I love
That
it.
was SeaWorld.
Yeah,
SeaWorld was
was
the penguin,
the
but
penguin
Forest
I
Glen
didn't do that
was.
one. Forest Glen.
Forest Glen was good.
And Forest
Okay.
Glen's a good spot.
Good
Yeah.
time. Good time.
I had the Kate thing also.
Okay.
And mine even bordered a little bit more on the outreach to the municipalities and that kind of thing.
Okay,
But I think, we have an opportunity, and I'm not sure exactly, I just wrote the word culture. I think, in a fast growth district, I think it's important to work on that culture and make sure that we're kind of all on the same page with things, cause, Hilltop was built, what, in '05? And then the next building we had was in 19, so we went 15 years, and then all of a sudden it's like been poof in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And I think it's just something we need to pay attention to amongst our campuses.
yep, love that.
As a district culture.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to have when you're small,
Right. It
and it's
just
hard
kinda
to maintain
to
when you're
hold
big.
on to, yep,
Culture has to be continually cultivated
yes,
and
that's true.
grown. It can be cut down in a day, but it takes decades
Yes.
to grow,
Yeah.
Yes,
so.
I think it's important.
Okay, I'm gonna go back this way again. Leon, do you have another one?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Dr. Carpenter.
I think we have the opportunity, especially amongst this team right here, to model decisiveness, model, being able to strategically implement the planning that's been put forth, that's been decided upon. I think we have the opportunity to model a lot of characteristics through this process for our students and our community.
Mm-hmm. Like it.
Future bonds,
Okay. Yep,
it's an opportunity.
absolutely.
I'm good with the vocational type things.
Okay,
Mhm.
the CTE. Rich, did you have another one?
I did, but kind of a little bit on what Dr. McDade talked about, because we have 5 municipalities, making sure that east side, west side, south side, whatever side you wanna be on, still feels included in the core of Argyle ISD.
Okay, I've got that. Outreach to the 5 municipalities, yeah. Inclusion of them, okay? Any others for opportunities?
Well, let me just add
Yeah,
to
please.
that, because I
Okay.
think there's 2 levels of that. There's the municipalities themselves, which there are opportunities to partner
Mm-hmm.
with those entities.
Mm-hmm.
But then the families and the people within those
And the
municipalities.
people living
the residents,
within
the
those.
parents,
Mhm.
Citizens.
all the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I like it. Okay, all right, let's move on to threats. We're gonna start on this side of the room.
What external obstacles does your district face? My first one here was fast growth.
Okay?
I'm not saying it's a threat, it's
No, I know,
reality.
but it's a
But
lot.
it's a
But
threat
it's the master
to,
planning side of that.
yeah, there's, to the planning piece, it's a threat to, it's something we have to pay attention to
Mhm.
and really specifically plan for, and it's coming at us very rapidly.
Right. Yeah.
I think kind of on the same thing, it's just making sure that we're adapting to our changing populations. We have, even in our SPED program, we've seen growth in different areas and making sure that we're prepared to handle what's coming.
So not just, we could call that demographics.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And even though the percentage is usually on I think our normal curve has been skewed for a long time, but I think we're coming more to center.
Yeah.
And the more kids you have that come here, you're gonna have more diversity.
Mhm.
And that diversity, the numbers are gonna grow in diversity and
Yep.
on all levels,
Mhm.
on educational diversity,
Everything.
racial,
Mhm.
whatever, all of it, ethnic. I mean, and you have to be able to keep up with that, so. I
So
agree.
true. Okay.
Political disruptions.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have burnout or attrition from public ed attacks.
Mm.
Growth is a big one, obviously. I also had, which again is also an opportunity, but the threats are the multiple municipalities.
Mhm.
It's hard.
It's a hard balance.
Yeah.
And I had two things on the municipalities as well. I had municipalities and their alignment with the ISD.
Okay.
I think it was, 17, 19 months for the middle school to finally get dirt or
Yeah.
fence around
It's
it.
been a long
It's a
time.
lot.
And, when you're trying to build, because you got kids coming,
Mhm.
I think the Harvest area has over 1,400 elementary students. So they're coming,
Yeah.
right? And so being, again, proactive to that aspect of it, knowing it's coming, we can't fight that.
Right.
But the municipality partnership.
Yeah.
Demographics from a community and a district, making sure we're acceptance of all the changes that are coming. And I do think there's a political attack on public ed.
Okay. Got it. Okay, reverse.
Last two things, I guess, for me is the social messaging that doesn't have to be accurate.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a challenge and a threat. I know this board has been threatened this week alone for being fired, a petition to get us removed, all that sort of stuff, and to still know that we're doing this for the 6,100 students that are in our ISD.
And the thousands more to come on. and-
Right, 100%. And then the tradition, culture, hinder the change. This is hard because we're nitpicking on a gap analysis here, but our ISD is special and it has a lot of amazing things for it. And some of the people that were here early on made it what it is today, and we need to appreciate that and respect that.
Mm-hmm.
But there is a change coming.
Right.
And we've got to respect that and love that. And so my simplified there, old guard, new residents. Because I think a lot of us move to an area, shut our doors and say we don't want anybody else moving in. Once we got in.
Yeah.
But
Once you got there, now
we're good
everybody else
now.
gets to come. Yeah.
And I think we need to be cognizant of that.
Sure.
So, hope that makes sense.
I think that's good.
Well, I think that's a real threat when you lose that sense of community.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are a lot of things there are a lot of great people moving to the district. But it seems like in a very low percentage, there's some that move, whether it's for a mascot or the school district, what they've heard, but it's almost, a situation where they move in and their expectations.
Right.
And they've heard about this place, but they never saw all the hours and effort that went into creating that environment.
Mhm.
And so the threat is potentially a lack of volunteerism or participation at the parent community level.
I think if we can get further and further past the pandemic and get people back into the school, the parents in the schools and things of that nature, that might help that. But I agree with what you're saying. Get some kind of involvement happening so you build that.
Yeah, well, and again, so, you made the comment earlier about how many people signed up for the committees.
Yeah.
Now, 90, I would have expected 90, 7 or 8 years ago. So 90 may be a great number, but it just seems like.
I think we would have had hundreds
Well,
a few years ago.
Right. And even when parents volunteered for the field trips and stuff like that, I mean, it was it was how fast
It's like
can
a
somebody
waiting
line.
list.
Yeah, it is a waiting list,
Yeah.
and then you have issues where, well, I volunteer all the time and I can never do something.
Mhm.
So there's, you know,
Sure.
two sides of every story and issues on both sides.
But if you look at like the voter aspect of who can vote within Argyle ISD, it's over 15,000 people.
Mhm.
So there's over 15,000
That could
people
engage.
that could engage
Yeah.
because they're invested somehow into our ISD.
It's a great
And-
point.
And it's 90, so we're not even,
I mean, it's not good old days syndrome, it's just a reality, like there used to be a day and time where you weren't guaranteed the opportunity to be a watchdog as a dad.
Right.
it was waitlist.
There was a wait list, and if someone canceled, then you could go volunteer your day at the school. So, and that is a sign of growth,
Mhm.
obviously,
Sure.
but it's an opportunity for engagement, yes, generational as
And maybe
well.
we need to change those programs, right, and
So-
make it more global at other
So-
districts.
More appealing to the people that can do them, yeah. Anything else?
The threat of failed bonds.
Okay. Dr. Carpenter?
I was gonna, just kind of what trustee McDowell was saying a while ago, you know, we have 35 square miles in this district, and the town of Argyle is 11 of that. And so the municipality piece is very difficult for everybody to own all of the students of Argyle ISD.
Can I add to that a little bit? It's, the threat is which is a societal thing, so it's not unique to us, but it is a threat. It is the what's best for me versus what's best for we.
Yeah.
And that's on so many levels, that we face every day, regardless, outside the education system,
Mhm.
but, an egocentric or myopic view that defocuses from our why.
Yeah. It does, you're right. Back over here.
Funding
Okay.
and just even the upcoming data.
Mhm.
It's difficult to get people to want to invest in education,
Mhm.
because if you're not really engaged and not paying attention to what is true about the Vader, it's really easy to be misled when you get into the booth, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I think, I mean, I like what Sam said, you know, like, not what's best, you know, for we, but for me. I think we're seeing a little bit more of it, and again, it's the I moved to Argyle, close the door. And I think, I've heard people say to me and to us that, you know, they came here for the things that we hold as our traditional values. And they still want it to be the same, but we're not 2,000 students anymore. We're not a 2A district or a 3A district. We're, you know, getting to be a pretty strong 5A district, and things are growing and getting bigger, and it's a matter of adapting and having people to be able to work together to adapt to those changes, and yet we still want to keep those values and those core traditions. And there's a way to do that, and it's just a way of, you know, people working together and being open-minded enough to say, okay, yeah, it's different because numbers is the reality. There's a lot more of us here. And so how do you keep that?
Yeah.
And I know we've talked about smaller school environment, more intimate environment for kids, hence the multiple high school. And I know there's the whole thing there. And, you know, you mentioned about the bond. I know I'm kind of touching on a little bit, but the fact that the bond didn't pass. I mean, I don't think people realize that if you put us behind a year now, assuming we pass a bond next May, if we decide to do one next May, that we're now another year behind in our planning, in acquiring land and putting schools on the ground. And, you know, people that vote no, it's like, do they truly understand what's happening here and the needs that we have, those immediate needs that we have in the district? So we don't have overcrowded schools, overcrowded classrooms, that we're asking for waivers and things like that. And all the stuff that we talked about here, you know, to provide an exceptional educational experience for each student, you know, in a safe and caring environment. I mean, kids want to know the teachers know who they are, the principal knows who they are, you know, when they're going through the hallway. And these are things that you know, people moved here for, because we're different than, let's say, Dallas ISD or Fort Worth ISD or Louisville ISD, with just the sheer numbers. And so, you know, we still can do that. And that's, I think, what we're trying to provide, which is, I think, why people moved here. So I think, you know, I hate to say it's a threat, because threat to me is just it's a weird name, but or word, but I understand what the idea is here. But I think the fact that the bond didn't pass is pretty significant, because it has ramifications
Sure.
for
Maybe
the
that's a
future.
communication piece, Dr. McDade, because I think while we say, let's revisit it, let's do this, let's do that, that's 12 months, but we just said it took 19 months to get dirt moved. So it's, you know, if you look at it from that standpoint, it could potentially delay you 3 years.
Right.
Right.
And so that is a real
And,
risk.
and the reality is the kids are still coming through the door.
100%.
And
We
they're
still have to
not
provide the
stopping
same
coming through the
quality
door.
of core values and missions to each one of them.
Right. And that's a piece that we don't have control over, because that's municipalities, building developments, you know, and that kind of thing. And obviously, we're getting higher ratios out of
Right.
some of the developments that we have, higher than we anticipated.
Sure.
And so we've got even more kids than we thought we were gonna have, so.
I captured all of that in a couple of different
Good.
line items.
And I was listening to everybody, and
Yeah.
it kind of, you know, you kind of put it all
Put it
together.
together.
And Dr. Johnson, you might have had this already, and I just have it, is, again, trying to hold myself accountable to forward thinking. The special interest fringe groups that are infiltrating local districts around us, I think we can be naive and say it's not gonna happen to Argyle ISD, or we can be prepared for it when it does happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think you're right.
Yeah.
Any other threats that we
I
haven't
think
mentioned?
just, overall for society is just the disconnectedness of kids and how people are really comfortable like this, but not
Families in
necessarily
general.
like this. And the impact that that's gonna have on the future. And, then just looking at, Argyle itself kind of losing its identity of what it always was. And what was really special about it in that same respect of like having the connectedness and people knowing each other, you know, as we grow, really trying to move towards creating
Right.
that smaller, more intimate.
Keeping as much of that alive as you can. Yeah. Okay, anything else? I think I've got it all. Okay, so the final thing I wanted to just, put out here just for a couple of minutes is, I know you all are gonna be making some campus visits soon, and I love
Start
that.
next
I
week.
think that's great. And so, what I hope you do during those campus visits is look for things. What are your big look-fors about, kind of like what we've talked about today? What are we looking for as far as our mission and our vision and all of these SWOT analysis that we just discussed? Like, I'd just like to know, just a quick share, what do you hope to see when you go into those buildings? I'm just gonna open it up, no special order,
I just like seeing the engagement with the kids,
okay?
especially, obviously, elementary, is unique with whatever they're doing, so
Sure.
I think that's fantastic.
I don't think any one of us wouldn't echo what Mr. Slayton said right there. I think it's an opportunity for us as board members to get feedback from not only kids, but from teachers and administrators, and our experience in doing this already last school year. It was great just to get things, because obviously you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
Right,
sure.
and it's not that this board wants to put its hand in there and start messing things up,
Mhm.
like, we fully trust administration here, but it is great to get on that level and be out of here, and it's kind of like a runner's high, like when you're running a
Yeah.
marathon and you've
Yeah.
got the crowd and they're invigorating you and inspiring you, and so getting to see our why in action is that's what's inspiring and motivating and
That's great.
encouraging for us, because there's so much, it's just like a Google review. Like, you're gonna get more 1 stars than you get 5 stars,
And-
right?
Yeah.
It's encouraging to see the fruits of the labor that so many people in this district, over almost 700 employees in this district, that they day in and day out put into the why of this district. And so getting to see our why in action,
Right.
that's the best part of being able to serve this district.
Yeah.
So
I love that.
I was
That's
gonna say, for me, I'm a 30,000 foot person. So for me, I mean, I think we've each been out at schools. On a given day, you might go somewhere to a school, go see something, a performance, or visit a teacher, or whatever you do, and, or, you know, and the kids and stuff. But to go to all the campuses in one day, even though it was kind of a quick in and out to
Sure.
get, now we have one more this year too,
Yeah.
that we're adding. But there was a beauty in seeing that and seeing
Absolutely.
all the levels all in one day, and looking at all the elementaries and it's not that you're comparing, but you're just seeing the different environments doing the same thing. And then you see the middle-aged, you know, middle school, sixth grade center, you know, the middle school, and then you see the high school kids, and it's just, it's all the same. Now, we don't always go in order, obviously, because it's a logistical thing,
Right.
but,
There's a map.
there's a map, and there's time frames and their schedules and all that kind of stuff, but it was unique for me to be able to go to all the schools in one district. And I know one day we're probably never going to be able to do that, but for now, it's a great experience, because you get to see all the stuff that we're talking here and we're talking about here, or speaking about, that you see the little guys in pre-K, and you see the seniors walking around
Yeah.
in high school,
Yeah.
all in one day.
That's so great.
And there's a beauty in that, and you see what all of this is.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Rich?
I get to do my first one next week.
I know.
And what's been fun is my daughter knows that we're having lunch with her. She asked me if I had the bell schedule. She asked me if I was gonna do what Dr. McDade and Leanne did last year, because I guess y'all saw her at the 6th grade
Yes.
center. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But, so seeing her excitement,
Yeah.
it means something to the
Sure.
kids.
Yeah.
Sure.
And, you know, I know Mr. Slade mentioned, you know, Watch Dogs. When you had the privilege as a father to do Watch Dogs, the kids loved it. And so, wrapping it up to what Sam started with at the beginning, that is our why.
That's right.
And we need to ensure that we do everything we can to protect that.
I love that. I love that. Last but not least.
I think it goes back to community, because you're engaged in the classrooms and you get to actually see the teachers and the administrators in their role, and the kids doing their thing. And it's just, I think it can build as presence. I think they have a sense of us actually being committed
Sure.
and involved. And I think when we're making decisions, it kind of helps us to not just listen to the need, but we've seen it, and it makes it more of an easy vote
Yeah.
of understanding what we're really doing with the funds and
That's right.
investing,
That's
not
right.
expending.
That's right. That's right. I love that. That's so great. Well, I think tonight was very powerful. I think y'all did an excellent job. I give you all gold stars.
We're your best group ever.
Even Craig, we'll give him one too. Yeah.
You might clip one of his points
Okay,
off
the
his.
points off of
Yeah.
his.
That's right.
So I'm gonna put all this together and just send it to y'all, just to review one more time before we will be presenting it to the committee. We would ask that a board member be present that first night. I think Dr. Carpenter's gonna talk to y'all about that, and just to thank the committee and explain about what I'd like for one of you to explain to them what we did tonight, so they know you worked hard on this.
Should we
And-
volunteer Josh for that?
Yeah, since he's not here.
no, but he will be the TASB delegate.
Yeah, there you go. So, but I am so excited to work with your community again. I love coming here, and I'm very pleased that you are undertaking this, because it's a lot, and you got a lot going on this year. But I think this is important to have a vision for your district so that your community, and students that aren't even here yet will know what you're moving towards. So, great work. Appreciate y'all very much.
Well, thank you for your help and guidance.
Yeah, it's exciting. Okay.
So we have to
All right.
adjourn.
Greg, the time is 6:51, and we are adjourned.